Yes.
Right, so what are we doing?
Well, it's been it's kind of weak, isn't it, really? Nothing much has happened. Lots of people got stabbed and shot, and the vicious dog thing is back again. Did you realise that 9 people get attacked by vicious dogs every day? And it's only just once a year that the press decide to latch onto that as a story and start printing it? I've said that before, and people go, oh yeah, right. But they do. It all comes around as a fashion, and in a couple of weeks' time they won't be reporting it again for a good 12 months. So get it while you can. It's not appropriate at all, is it? In fact, it's borderline bad taste. Right, the Labour Party conference was on this week.
Boring!
Tony left them crying in the aisles. He said that under his munificent leadership that crime was down, but it's not really. Health service is better, but it's not really. Our children are more educated than they've ever been, but they're not really, and his wife doesn't fancy Gordon Brown. Well, I can believe that. She's not blind. Gordon said,
I am very sorry that I screwed up. Totally I mean, I am so sorry. You just don't know how sorry I am. I'm sorry.
Not Gordon, John. Well, you get them mixed up. You know, one old fat bloke in a bad suit is, they kind of morph together, don't they? Not Gordon, John. John Prescott said, I am sorry. And nothing else happened at all. No one was ejected, no fights broke out, no mass resignations. It was really, really boring week. Just like a wet week in Manchester. No offence to people who live in Manchester, but... maybe the people behind the glass would like to introduce themselves and tell us what star sign they are.
My name's Lucy, and I'm a Gemini.
My name's Alex, and I'm a Leo.
Right. And how was your week then, chaps?
Mine was good and bad.
Oh, really?
Mostly bad on the moving front.
You've moved?
No, we still haven't moved. It's now been 7 months, and...
What?
Yes, we're on our 3rd buyer, and we were supposed to exchange this week, but our buyer has now watched a TV horror show on properties that go bad. And apparently, lots of people, just before they exchange or complete, decide to trash their houses before selling it. So she thinks that maybe we'll have trashed our house before we give it to her.
They decide to trash their house before they sell it?
Apparently.
Why? Just because...
I don't know. Bored.
We're out of here.
Yeah.
A last party.
Let's go crazy. Let's trash our house. So,
right.
So she won't exchange now until she's checked the house out again.
But you don't look like the kind of person that would trash their house.
No, but this is the same woman.
Maybe it's your husband that put her off.
Well, quite possibly. But she does only live down the street and did make the solicitor do a search on whether it was permit parking outside the flat.
Right. Well, that's reasonable.
Well, it's not
Well, she
reasonable.
could have just looked. Right.
Yeah.
Well, some houses these days, very annoyingly, put up, the council insists that they be car-free zones. I was put off buying a place by just such a regulation. They say, there's a little plot of land that I was going to buy and put up something stunning, but the council said, you can't park there. Even though there was room to park on the property, there was a car space.
Yeah.
But you can't, even though what was going to be knocked down to make way for this thing was a double garage.
Oh.
How stupid is that?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But they said, oh no, you can't, not only can you not park a car on your property, which would have been off-street, no problem at all, right? They said, you can't park off the property either. We won't give you a residence permit, so you can't have a car. At all.
How can they block you having a permit if you live on the street?
They can. There's apparently...
Even though other people can have one?
Absolutely. Even though the people who are making these regulations undoubtedly have cars and park them on their own streets. Now they're insisting that you can't have a car. It's the law.
That is ludicrous.
Well, that's something to watch out for when you buy your next house, because it's catching on.
Is that because they'd have a block on so many cars in the road, or...?
It's just because councils now are becoming car unfriendly, or they would turn it around to be positive. People-friendly. People-friendly councils, working for you.
Yeah, great.
Something like that. But a lot of those are going up. Car-free... residences
Oh, I see.
So maybe she's not so crazy after all.
But it is quite obvious outside our street that there's nothing, anyone can park and it's just free parking. So
well,
it's
you must
kind
live.
of obvious.
You must live in like Birmingham or somewhere.
No, but they just
There's
haven't.
no lines
it's getting
on the
nearer
road?
and nearer. No, no lines on the road.
Good grief!
I know, it's unusual, isn't it?
Do you have a London postcode?
Yes.
Oh,
TW8. Yeah.
oh, Twickers.
Well, not quite. It's Brentford.
Oh,
Twickers would sound a lot better.
yeah, wouldn't it just? I mean, I'm surprised that the estate agent hasn't,
Hasn't tried to fool her.
It's practically South Hampstead.
Well, maybe that's why she's checking up that we haven't trashed the place, seeing as
Right.
we live in Brentford,
But if she lives just down the road and
Yeah.
she's met you,
She didn't meet us. This is the
right.
key. She came and found it when we were away on holiday, and she never came back for a second viewing, which was, I think, slightly strange.
suspicious. Well, so in other words, what I don't want to upset you
Oh, no.
because you've already lost 2 buyers, and to lose 1 buyer
And a
is
house.
unfortunate. But to lose 2, now maybe 3, well, that just seems
And that would be 2
something
houses we'd have
wrong
lost as well.
with you.
Yeah.
So she's going to pull out.
She might. I know this is what's worrying me, that she could, but we're in a chain of 7, and everyone has said if she won't agree to this date and exchange, then they're all going to pull out completely. So
This is insane. I mean, there should be there should be some way. I mean, doesn't this happen in Scotland where if you want a place and you say yes, that's it? There's none of this dithering around for as long as you want to.
No,
it's
you're
just
legally bound,
crazy.
though.
Yeah. I mean, a chain of 7 people, that's 7 people's, so let's say 7 times 3 that's over 20 people's lives and pleasure and, just a peace of mind is resting on this one mad woman who's lived down the street from you.
yeah, and she's the first-time buyer, so she's the easiest in the chain to move. Which
Because
I
she
just
doesn't have
think
to
is
sell
selfish.
anywhere.
No, nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but she also doesn't want to move in on the date everyone else does because she's going to be on holiday, and it would be dead money for her. But
What, the one day?
well, she's away for a couple of weeks, but so what? I mean, you still go on holiday when you own a property, don't you? You don't rent it out for a week or whatever. So, I mean, I just think that's ludicrous.
Yes.
Anyway, that's been my frustrating week, but we just might exchange on Monday, so...
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course you
You've
will.
really cheered me up about it. I just stopped being teary about it yesterday.
Oh.
Well, it's ridiculous. I've been moving all year,
And what's your new place like?
It's a sweet 2-bedroom cottage, which is only 20 doors down.
Why are you... there seems to be a lot of movement in your area from, just a couple of steps
I know.
next door. Why can't you just be happy where you are?
Well, it's a little bit bigger and we've got a lot of stuff.
Right. Stuff. I thought that you got your husband to throw much of his stuff away.
Well, I have, but there's still more.
Right. Have you uncovered some of the things that he said he'd thrown away, but he actually hadn't?
No, I'm not allowed to go through his wardrobe still. He said I've got to wait till the packers are in.
Not allowed to go through his wardrobe. Huh.
No, because he doesn't want me to chuck anything out before he's had a chance
Or
to.
find anything in the back there. He's definitely going to
Oh,
come and
dear.
beat me up, isn't he? Des has quit Countdown. Can you believe it? That's awful. Telly Smoothie Des Lynham has sensationally quit his... Guess how much he gets paid? That's right. £600,000 a year. For that.
I'd do it.
Yeah, me too. How rich would you have to be to just say, oh, I don't want to do this anymore?
It's not about the money.
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
Well, it would be for us, but it's not for Des.
Where has Des got all his money from? I don't get it, because the BBC doesn't pay that much, do they? That you could turn down 600 grand a year. Des quit, bow out of the quiz show at Christmas after a bust-up with Channel 4 bosses. The exhausted star was fed up travelling to Leeds for filming and wanted the show to be moved to London, where he lives. Well, I used to live in Leeds, and I used to commute at the weekends, and it's a 3-hour drive at most. Des, 64, has taken the helm after long-term host Richard Whiteley died last year. He's still dead. Trouble first fled between Des and Channel 4 in March, when he refused to film an extra Saturday show with sidekick Carol Vorderman, saying he was too tired. Tired? I mean, that's the slowest moving show on TV. I mean, it's not something you can be tired doing, surely. TV chiefs agreed to compromise and shoot half the series near his home, but viewers protested. Viewers? Why would viewers protest? I mean, it'll look exactly the same. Des said I didn't want to be responsible for that disruption. It would be unforgivable. I've had a marvellous time here. Co-star Carol says he's done an amazing job by sitting there and just twinkling slowly. There was no word on replacement for Des last night. I'll do it. I'll do it for significant... I lived in Leeds for significantly less than 600 grand a year, and I found the time to... Because they don't do it one a day. They pack these things in. They, you know, because they've got an audience in, then they might as well do 3 or 4 a day. Because it's only 30 minutes. So, let's say an hour, and they edit it down. So you do 4 a day, that's just 4 hours. That's a half a day. And so you've done 4, that's most of the week's done in just 1 day. He doesn't have to commute there and back on a daily basis. I'm just stunned by that. 600 grand a year, and he just... Nah. Would you live in Leeds for £600,000, Alex?
No way.
Let's have one in Oxford Street. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Nick, all right?
I'm all right.
I don't know, before I talk about your lady friend now...
My lady friend?
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting lipstick in me now. She just phoned me back too quick. Old Mr. Dime, the geezer that does Countdown, he was on... He done LWT, or 10 Sport, for years without even getting on there, didn't he? Cops a mint off of them for doing nothing. So it must be just a case of sign a contract, work for a few weeks, and walk away from it. Get a little payoff.
I forgot that, yeah. He did go from the BBC to ITV in a big money deal, yeah.
Big money. And then I think they dropped him as well within weeks and replaced him with somebody else. I can't remember who. But anyway, this chain for this house, the 7 in the chain.
Yeah.
You're calling the one at the bottom, the bird at the bottom, the fruitcake. She's the clever one. She's very, very clever because she's playing the game. She's wrong. She knows. She's the first-time buyer. She's holding all the keys. I bet... Is it Lucy, the girl there?
Yeah.
I bet if Lucy phoned her tomorrow and said, I'll knock 2 grand off the price or 3 grand off the price of my property, you sign now, I bet you won't stop that girl getting in that estate agent or in that solicitor and signing that contract.
Lucy's got her head in her hands.
I know, but many, many moons ago, it happened to me. I was involved in a chain, so there was about 6 of us. It wasn't the first one, it was in the middle, and that's what happened there. The one in the middle kept coming up with excuses about, they've got, there's something they can't move yet, they can't move that, and then in the finish it works out when the deadline was put to them, they then come up with this, well, we can't exactly raise all the money. We can't raise this, we can't raise that. So between a chain of about 4 or 5 of us, because we all wanted to move, the solicitors worked out that we all paid a little bit more to give to this person to sign the contract, and it all went through.
So all of the people in the chain gave this person who was holding it up money?
Yeah, just give them, just like basically, everyone reduced the price of their property to help this one out, basically. That's what you did. And that's all they were paying it. Because they didn't sell their property for as much as they wanted, because the property they wanted, you see, so they just played a game. It is wrong.
Well, there's an alternative mode of persuasion, isn't there? You could go and make them an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, but then you're never going to move then, are you? Because you have to find another buyer.
Yeah, I suppose they'd be
because they're going to be living in a wooden box, aren't they?
Yes, I guess so, yeah.
But that's what it is. And if she's the first-time buyer, I'll bet you. I believe it's Lucy. I'm sorry, excuse me for forgetting her name. But I'll bet if she called her bluff and phoned her tomorrow, I'll bet you, and just reduced the price of her property by a small amount and said, look, I desperately need to move. I desperately need, what can I do? Right? If I take 2 grand off the price, will you sign? I bet the bird will sign.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Now you've really upset her.
I know.
All right, cheers, mate. Ta-da.
Ta-da,
yeah, or you could go with my way. You could go the Tony Soprano route, and then it'd be...
Bingo.
Bingo. What do you think about that?
It's rather annoying that Dave said that.
Yeah.
And I'm not prepared to lose any more money. I've lost enough.
But she, I bet that this woman, don't offer it. I think that's probably,
I'm not going
that'll
to.
put you in a weak position. She'll ask for it.
I don't actually think she is as clever as Dave thinks.
Right.
Else she wouldn't have paid for a search to be done on the permit parking, would she? She'd have walked down the road, rung the estate agents, knocked on our door, rung the council.
Yeah, but when she does a search, well, that will come up. Surely they shouldn't do a separate search about parking.
There was a separate search that we had to formally write back about.
Huh.
Ridiculous.
Because exactly the same thing happened to me. I was selling my last place, and it went on and on and on and on and on and on, and eventually the people said it was on the day of exchange. Was it day of exchange or complete? No, exchange. Exchange when you have to do it, and complete when you
when you move. Yeah.
And they said, really sorry about. Or the estate agent called in and said, yeah, sorry about this, but they haven't got enough money.
Not as sorry as I am.
Yeah, can you accept 15 grand less?
You said, sure, no problem.
No, well, I said one word beginning with SH. I said, absolutely.
That stinks,
I told them to
doesn't
go and bleep themselves through the agent. And he laughed, and he went away, and 30 minutes later he came back and said, you know what? Their aunt has managed to find some money, and she's given it to them.
Wow.
So everything ended happily ever after.
The home of...
There was this thing about... She's so nice, isn't she? Well, maybe not. There was this thing a little while ago about Lorraine Kelly. Benedetta Pinelli, the editor of Lorraine Kelly's GMTV show, which is called Hello, text someone something that she shouldn't oughter. Did you read about this?
This is a great story.
This is a modern a tale of warning about what not to do. Be very, very careful about who you text, because, you know, your thumb will slip and you'll send the wrong message to the wrong person. Benedetta Pinelli, the editor of Lorraine Kelly's GMTV show, Hello, has texted the following. My God, she texted on a location shoot in Namibia. I have really got the hump. I've just had this massive bust-up with LK. It happened today. She's a nightmare to work with. I hate her.
I hate it!
And she meant to send it to her husband. She actually sent it to Lorraine Kelly.
Hello?
Since which time she's handed in a resignation. Oh. Lorraine Kelly, she's got such a... She's shot in... It's like she's covered in mist. It's like she's been painted by Turner, you know. You can almost see her, but not quite. She's fuzzy, do you know what I mean? She's slightly out of focus.
Soft focus.
Yeah, but not just on TV. I'm sure that this is what she's like all the time. She's just this sort of beige cloud of loveliness that floats through life. I'm sure that's what she's like. But then she writes a column in the Super Soaraway Stun, and she has to, pull out the macho attitude, because I'm sure that they're all forced to. And she comes off with, some strange words in the Sun that you wouldn't ordinarily attach to the lovely Lorraine.
What are you suggesting?
The money talks. Unless you're Des, in which case you're not listening. Here's Bracknell. Hello, Jethro.
Hiya.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm listening to your interesting, rambling conversation.
Yeah.
And trying to get a connection in there. Can I just make an apology for last week? Because I did talk to you last week, and one of the last things I talked about was the Chinese province of Saskatchewan, and you pointed out to me quickly before you cut me off that was in fact in Canada, which was true. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if your mind goes back that far.
You mean Szechuan?
I did mean Szechuan, yeah. Yeah, I was getting Saskatchewan mixed up with Szechuan.
Yeah, I love their sauce.
Yeah, well, they're meant to do... Thank you. Thank you for that statement. Yes, they're meant to do very good food, aren't they?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the Chinese food, it's all slop to me. It's all mushy, slimy slop. I'm sorry if that's offensive to the billion people that live there, but it's just what I feel.
Yeah, I think it's quite a sort of broad generalisation. I think there are quite distinctive types of dishes that You might get 28 dishes presented in front of a gathering of about 12 people who sit cross-legged, and then there's some sort of etiquette about, what you can eat first and what one you can tuck in with your chopsticks. But to just say it's sloppy slush is, I think slightly not nuanced, to put it that way.
Not nuanced. That's an excellent way of putting it. Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Des Lynham, as I said to Lucy, I was down the job centre recently, and I was looking at all the fantastic...
What, a man with your vocabulary was down the job centre?
Yeah.
That shows a serious lack of get up and go on your part.
Initiative and drive, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. I suffered from that for a long time, actually. I think it's something to do with my glands, actually.
Right.
But I didn't notice the job going for, a countdown presenter, £600,000 a year. And I'm surprised that Des Lynham's given it up, because apparently the reason being that he can't he's too fatigued by the journey from Worthing to Leeds each week.
Does he live in Worthing, the bath chair capital of the world?
Yeah, apparently.
He's the youngest man there.
Yeah. Well, yes, his grey hair probably fits in, doesn't it,
He could take a helicopter. I mean, there's places where helicopters can land in Worthing. They get him to Leeds in about half an hour.
Well, the other thing I thought he could possibly do, if he thought he could actually, why not sell the house, follow the Lucy route, sell the house up in Worthing, instead of moving 200 yards down the road, move sort of like 400 miles up into the north, and he could actually buy a castle in plus 20 acres in the East Riding and West Riding of Yorkshire, plus Leeds Football Club.
He could buy Ilkley Moor, on which he should not walk without his hat.
No, probably not. Yeah, because they say bar tat.
Bar tat, yeah.
Yeah, so I find it strange, but what I'd like to connect in with a further theme, if I possibly can, before you cut me off, about television. So I remember about 20 years back, when the number of channels were being increased from 3 to 4, the great Dennis Healy, he of the enormous eyebrows, said, it's a bad move because I've been to the States and I just know that more is less. And I think that's true, and that's why live radio, live interactive radio is the format to go down, because increased television channels doesn't mean better quality. It just means more garbage.
No, it doesn't. It means more garbage, but it also means more good stuff as well. I completely disagree.
All right, okay. Well,
I mean, American television, I would agree with American television is more or less unwatchable, mostly because of the adverts.
Right.
Oh, look, where are we? 28:45? Oh, you called it a very bad time. Because we're hard up against the new news.
Oh, okay.
In which we'll hear about a lot of recent deaths in our area. It's 8 who can get laid.
Hello, Nick, how you doing?
I am all right, mate.
Yeah, I'd like to see you on about this countdown £600,000 a week. I'd love to see you on that.
On Countdown? I would love to go on Countdown, but I couldn't stand the song.
You could change it for Pink Floyd, though, couldn't you? I mean, the rounds would last me about...
I think that's probably what it is. He just can't stand hearing that tune anymore. Da-da, da-da, da-da-da, boo! Whoever came up with that they don't have to do anything else for the rest of their lives.
Is it like that, the intelligent, they get paid every time it plays?
It must do, yeah. I mean, can you imagine introducing yourself to me? Oh, and what do you do? Oh, I wrote that Countdown tune. Most people's reaction would be exactly the same. He'd be on our news.
Yeah, but, I mean...
Oh, no, I mean it. Take it off, Lucy.
No. That is stressful.
It is awful. But I just can't get my head around this. I mean, how much money must he have to turn down one of the easiest jobs in television, which would last forever? I mean, he doesn't have to be funny or quick-witted or any of that. He just has to sit there and twinkle and introduce the new whatever it is. And what's her name does all the brainy bits, and he just has to smile. And he is Giles Jumper, or whatever his name is. What's his name? What's that guy's name?
Giles Brandreth.
Brandreth, yeah.
Oh, man, I'll just, it's going to be the easiest job.
But that must be the easiest job in TV. I can't think of an easier one. And there's just no pressure, because everyone that's watching that show has a rug over their knees and finds it difficult to get up, and they can't remember where they left the remote, or they're probably in a large room with other elderly people, and the remote has been taken from them. It's just on that channel all day.
It's it's not even, well, I mean, like, it's gone from something which must have been quite hard, you know, doing sports commentary. Because she must have to, like, you know, work all different hours. No set hours at all.
No, well, no, he didn't do commentary. He wasn't a play-by-player or whatever you call it over here. He just did the links between, and most of that was just reading off a screen. He's one of the luckiest men in show business. And to be so rich that you turn down an easy job that you could do in your sleep.
Yeah.
For 600 grand a year just because you didn't want to go to Leeds. I mean, that's just, I'm stunned. How much money must he have?
But did you, I don't know if you know who it is, did you hear he was going to be making an appearance in Doctor Who for the next series?
He's going to be what?
Not Des Lynam, who's going to be making an appearance in Doctor Who?
Do I know who is going to be making an appearance in Doctor Who?
Yeah,
but it's not Des Lynam.
No.
Not the Hoff.
No. Although I think he would want to do it, but I mean, it's too drunk off the time.
Well, there was this, right, well, tell us, and then I'll give you the story about the Hoff, and then you can tell us about the Doctor Who thing, all right?
You probably won't know who it is, but it's Mavis from Coronation Street.
Well, I know the name, but the picture isn't coming up.
I really know. It's like this little old woman that used to work in a paper.
Oh, right. You absorb this information by osmosis. I've never actually watched Coronation Street, but scarily I do know who Mavis is, and I've got a picture of her now. She's going to be in Doctor Who. Doctor Y.
But yeah, do you watch that? I've got a couple of mates who are like a bit fanatic about it.
Well, as a child, I never did, because it always looked properly silly to me, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. But then everyone was going on and on about the new series when it came back a year or so ago, and I gave it a go with the guy that it came back with initially, whatever his name is, and I thought, this bloke's really annoying, I can't stand it. And so I didn't watch any of those. But then when it changed, I thought, well, the new bloke, he wasn't so annoying. And everybody's constantly talking about it, so I thought, well, I'll be out of the loop if I don't watch it. And then once I started watching, I thought, hey, you know what? This isn't bad. And some of it was actually quite scary. I thought a little too scary for children's entertainment.
Yeah.
But anyway, here's something scary. Slurring David Hasselhoff left GMTV's Jenny Falconer squirming as he clumsily came onto her. Jenny's only break from the embarrassment came as he fell asleep during the adverts. This is on TV. How can you be on television and be so relaxed that you fall asleep?
Well, you could be on Countdown. We're going round as a loop here.
Yeah. Then the ex-Baywatch star performed a thrusting routine with her as he sang his new single, Jump in My Car. A GMTV spokesman said last night, we had calls from nearly 30 viewers asking what was wrong with him. We do not believe he was drunk. There was no smell of alcohol. Huh.
It's probably just too tired. Too much.
Well, it's probably that his skin has been stretched so tightly over his face that it's shutting down blood from getting into his brain.
It does. It's all, every time you see him, he looks worse and worse. He looks like the Return of the Living Dead at the moment.
He does look like he's made out of plastic. Yeah. He could stand in Madame Tussauds and save them a lot of money. Just stood still for long enough.
Yeah. Anyway, are you going to these Elverton car boots tomorrow?
The what?
The Elverton car boots in York tomorrow.
The Elvington car boot?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, apparently Richard Haven's having a car boot sale there. It's only bits and pieces, but it's all Top Gear.
Oh. Say goodbye, Adrian.
Goodbye.
That was awful. Let's have... What a great name. Is your name actually Trixie?
Yes, we have spoken before, Nick.
Have we?
In the dark distant past, when I talked about sniffing your armpits.
Oh.
Never mind, don't worry.
That's a conversation I don't want to have again.
Absolutely. I just tuned in. I'm in Swansea at the moment. I should be coming back to dear old London on Monday. I think that Des Lynam is leaving because of Carol Vorderman.
What's wrong with Carol?
There you are. You see, you're talking from a guy's point of view. I think she's just had two...
I resent that. I am not a guy.
All right. You're not a guy? Fine. Hey, this is great. Join the club, then. No, No, I don't know. Since Richard Whiteley died, I mean, I think it just should have gone gracefully. Like, that's it. Draw a line under it. You can't really repeat Richard Whiteley. Des Lynam...
Repeat? I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't really understand this whole thing about Richard Whiteley. What was it that he did that was so great? Because to me it looked like nothing at all.
Well, I think maybe that's what it was. He was just effortless.
But so's Des. Des is known to be effortless. That's what Des does.
Yeah. But I think there's the stress of Carol there every day, you know, with her sheer brilliance, was just kind of getting to him.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, not at all.
Her sheer brilliance?
I'm being absolutely serious.
You're not.
Absolutely. Yes. And also, I think David Hasselhoff would be brilliant on Countdown if they have to continue the series.
Well, he would spice it up a bit, yeah.
Well, he would, but would Carol Vorderman be able to deal with him? Now, that would be more interesting to see how the relationship between him and Carol Vorderman went on. I mean, if she really is the thinking man's crumpet, blah, 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 then how about those two together? Brilliant idea, I think.
Now, is this a women's thing that they don't like Carol Vorderman? Chip in here, Lucy.
I don't mind her.
Right. So it's just you, Trixie?
No, not just me. No, it's. I think she's had too much coverage. I think with all these commercials sort of sending people into debt and everything, saying, oh, just get some more credit, blah, 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 blah.
But do you think that it's because she's smart? I mean, all women hate all other women. I've got that about right, don't I?
No, that's not true. There's a certain thing about her. She's very smug. It's the smugness about her, and I'm not quite sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it. And it's not that I'm jealous of her. It's just that she's very smug, and she's got this sort of, you know, I'm better than all of you put together. And that's why I think possibly that David Hasselhoff would be okay there.
Well, I think that there's something... It's not that she's exceptionally bright, is it? It's that she's got something wrong with her, that her brain is wired the wrong way, so that she acts like a calculator.
Well,
I mean, that's no great skill, is it?
That's a really good way of looking at things, good slant. Yes, I like that.
Because she adds up, and what else?
She does. She's basically, but that's it. She's a calculator. She could not hold that show on her own. She needs to have someone there. So I think Des Lynam just couldn't take it. He just thought, this is ridiculous. And as you said so rightly, that music there is appalling.
I just can't believe that they're still sticking... I can't believe that the show is so popular, and it plays that tune over and over again. I mean,
I know.
And the audience figures didn't go down significantly when Richard Whiteley left to the great clock in the sky. Did it? Turn that music off. I mean it.
Yeah. I mean, he said, you know, I mean, the poor Richard Whiteley, I mean, he obviously put up with it for years and years and years. He had his own little formula. People liked him. And I think, what was it, just after he died, people said, well, you know, we can't really have the show going on. Let's just stop it there, because, you know, you always get the new improved person, the next this person, the next that person, you know, the next Brad Pitt, the next this.
Well, they didn't get a new improved person. They got Des Lynam, who was kind of exactly the same, but slightly better looking.
And, yes, definitely better looking, far more sex appeal. I think he's pretty... Now, he's nice.
Sex appeal? Now, I don't get this. Sex appeal for a 64-year-old man. Chip in here, Lucy.
Maybe... Oh,
he's smooth, isn't he? But he's not really... He's not my cup of tea, really. He's a bit old for me.
Yeah, way too old. I mean...
he's not old.
He's 64 years old. As a 64-year-old man, the mechanics of it would be... Well... You'd think that if not beyond him, then getting, you know, close to the point at which it would be... Well, you'd need assistance.
Well, hey, I wouldn't mind sort of having a bash at it.
You want to be... Oh, don't back up. You want to have a bash at it? What on earth does that mean? You want to be his assistant?
Well, why not? No, I don't have Carol Vorderman's brains. I mean, I admit she has a brilliant brain. She can add up, as you say. She's got a brilliant calculator for a brain. But unfortunately, she doesn't have the pizzazz. She couldn't carry the show on her own. And without Richard Whiteley, I think they were sort of basically, they wanted to keep that as a sort of a vehicle for Carol Vorderman. I can't imagine what other show she could do. Can you?
Well, she could just be like a do-all presenter. Most of the people on TV don't actually do they can't do anything, so there's just...
I really can't imagine her in your position, sort of sitting there in front of a microphone working there. I certainly can't imagine her in looking, you know, being in Lucy's place and, you know, adding clever comments and things like that. She couldn't do that.
Of course she could. Anyone can do this. All you have to do is throw open the mic and say, shall we... what's the general standby? It's like, shall we legalise drugs?
Want to score some pot?
And then the phone lines will just light up like a Christmas tree.
Well, yeah.
There's your show.
Well, yes, she could possibly do that, but could she discuss it? I don't think she could. That would be interesting. It'd be great if LBC could, offer her a job. If they got rid of Countdown, LBC gave her a job, and saw just to see what she could do. I would like to see that, or hear that.
But is it that women don't like other women who are either smart or successful or both?
No, that's not true at all.
Well, then what is it?
I love Penny Smith. I think she's absolutely brilliant.
Who's that?
Penny Smith. She's GMT. She was reading the news. She's done loads of things.
Well, reading the news? That's just reading what someone else has written.
And she's done stuff for LBC.
Oh, right. Well, like I said, she's great.
Exactly. She's brilliant.
She's a genius.
She is a genius.
So are you.
And she's beautiful. I'm not so bad. Anyway, lovely to speak to you.
And you. Ta-da, Trixie. Love the name, by the way. You're not related to Bob Geldof, by any chance?
Reasons to buy a DAB digital Abbott.
Well, let's get back to it.
It's getting so dark so early, have you noticed?
It's really
depressing, I know. And it seems to charge ahead. It doesn't gradually get darker. It charges to darkness, doesn't it, around about this time of the year?
It's about 7:30, is it, darkness now?
It's it's earlier than that. It's proper dusk at 7, I think.
No more barbecues.
Well, you'd have to start pretty early. You'd have to have one for breakfast.
Yeah.
The reappearance of El Nino in the Pacific. You know what that is, right? The world's biggest climactic event. It's some wind. I don't know. Is expected to have effects across Europe throughout the winter. This is what meteorologists are saying. 2 months ago, meteorologists said that winter was likely to be wetter than last year, but a cold snap in February and March, they said, would be likely to put an end to the higher rain levels. These are the same people who can't predict from one day to the next. They can't predict on that day. They can't say in the morning what it'll be like in the afternoon, can they? They've got no idea. What a great job. Matt Huddleston of the Met Office said you could say that winter is on a knife edge in terms of what's going to happen. In other words, he's got no idea. There are all sorts of forces at play in the global climate at the moment, and we're closely monitoring what those are. See, that's just a huge shrug of the shoulders, isn't it? What's the point? You could say that winter is on a knife edge in terms of what's going to happen. There are all sorts of forces at play in the global climate at the moment, and we're closely monitoring what those are. That's just like saying, well, I don't know.
And there always are at this time of year, because it's all the hurricanes, isn't it? They keep coming up.
By creating warmer water in the Pacific, air is warmed. This is their El Nino effect. Air is warmed, which in turn circulates in a band around the globe. This leads to more thundery storms over the tropics, causing a ripple effect on air movements to shift the jet stream northwards. Simultaneously, the band of warm air helps to warm water in the Atlantic. This means a cold patch of sea south of Newfoundland, which borders another warm patch south of Greenland. The warm-cold-warm combination in the North Atlantic provides perfect conditions for the creation of winter storms. I mean, my brain is beginning... You'd need Carol Vorderman to come in here and explain this to me. I mean, that's a brief explanation of what's happening. And it's... How could you possibly predict anything from all of that? It's so complicated. No, all the computers in the world, if you hooked them together, wouldn't be able to fathom it. It's ridiculous. So, it is so complicated that, in other words, they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If we got the weather forecast from the Met Office up here right now, and what they said was going to happen over the next 5 days...
Because on the,
yeah, right. The BBC website, they usually has, on their front page, if you go to weather, it's got the next 5 days, and they're always wrong. Always. So if they can't predict what's going to happen in the next 5 days, how can we take it seriously when they tell us what's going to happen in the winter? You know, like 6 months ahead. That's just ridiculous. I hope it doesn't rain too much, because it's raining in my living room at the moment.
There is one plus point.
What?
We might lose the hosepipe ban.
Oh, great.
What a relief.
No one needs to use it anymore. It's been raining constantly since the end of July. All right, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday is raining and sunshine. You see? I mean, you might as well just not bother.
You didn't say Wednesday and Thursday, though.
Well, Wednesday and Thursday is going to be partly cloudy, and Thursday is going to be full-on sun. Look at those temperatures. Oh, that's a steady slope down, isn't it? There's no Indian summer on the way now. 18, 19 on Monday, and then 17, 17 and 15 on Thursday. You know what 15 is? Cold. That's the point at which my fingers start to be cold like a dead person's, and they will remain at that temperature until July.
Not at 15.
Absolutely, yeah.
No.
And if it's not 70 degrees, all of my extremities, all of them, are freezing cold.
You're living in the wrong country.
I definitely am, yeah. So, yeah, in other words, we've got no idea what's going to happen. That message brought to you by the British Meteorological Office. Here's Barnsley. Hello, Louise.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great, mate.
Oh, you've just been talking about weather people. That reminded me of something. Ian Lee, he did this experiment. I think it was about midweek. He got Chris Lowry to read out what he thought it was going to be like on Friday.
Chris Lowry?
Yeah, the weather person.
Oh, yeah.
OEC. And he played it out on Friday, and it was totally wrong.
Right.
So that proves that they don't.
Do we have a dedicated weatherman?
Yeah. Didn't you know?
Yeah, I know that. Do we? Do we have a meteorologist? A station meteorologist?
We've got Chris Lowry, who is our weather specialist.
Yeah, that's
So
who he got to read
He's
out.
not an expert, but a specialist.
Yeah.
Right. What does that mean?
He likes to study the weather. So he's not a meteorologist as such.
Is he on the payroll?
Well, he does our jingles.
Oh, he does our jingles?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
He does your 087090900973.
He speaks them?
He doesn't speak them, he makes them with the music.
Right. And in his spare time?
You know what a jingle is.
And in his spare time?
In his spare time,
Looks out the
what
window.
little spare time he has, he's busy researching the weather.
Right.
Yeah.
And is he right?
Actually, he's often quite accurate, but maybe on this one that Louise heard, maybe it didn't quite work out.
Right.
No, he was totally wrong, so...
Let's not tell him that.
No.
Well, if it's been broadcast on the Ian Lee show, then we're not breaking ground here, are we?
No, it just reminded me of that when you were talking about it. So maybe that proves what you've been saying.
Yes, because, well, I do frequently look at this 5-day forecast on the BBC weather page, and, you know, because sometimes you want to do something like golf, like a middle-aged pursuit like that. You know, I'm not old enough for countdown, because I can still get around unaided. So golf, every now and again. You know, it's an opportunity to go home and speak to the parents.
Yeah.
while walking around outside. And, you know, it distracts them from the awful state of my life. Because if I don't give them some distraction, then they'll be like, you know, same old, same old. What are you doing? Why haven't you done this? You're not still there, are you? Oh, Nicholas, you know, all that. So I've found that golf is a good distraction. And so, but according to this, Thursday would be a great day to go and play golf, because it's going to be bright, sunshiny day, a little wind, because I don't need anything to hamper my golf swing, because it's pretty diabolical as it is. But I guarantee that on Thursday, it'll be snowing. Or something that's not bright, sunshiny day. Write it down. The Met Office says it's going to be a bright, sunshiny day with little wind on Thursday. And it'll be a typhoon, I betcha.
Yeah. Best thing to do is look out the window.
Exactly. If you want to know what the weather is like, it's all outside. Yeah.
Yeah. And Des Lynam, what a diva. Tired. I went down south, and that was like a 5-hour journey to get there. On the first day, I was up from 6 in the morning until 3 in the morning, and I felt fine.
I don't buy that tired thing, because you don't have to drive. If you're being paid $600,000 a year, you can you can take a helicopter.
Yeah, I think he's hiding something.
He just must be tired of doing it. Maybe it's like me. He just can't stand that tune anymore. Or maybe he doesn't like what's her name? Is that a women's thing that they don't like Carol Vorderman?
I like her.
Right.
I haven't got anything against her. I think she's pretty. I think she's good at what she does.
What about you, Louise?
Lucy?
Lucy. What do you think? Sorry.
I actually think she could do it on her own. And more to the point, who else could be Carol Vorderman?
Right, well, that's a very good point. Lots of people could be Des. I could be Des. No,
You
I
could
couldn't.
be
No,
Des.
not really, no.
I couldn't be Carol.
No, me either. I'd need a calculator. But she adds and subtracts and multiplies. What else? Does she do word things, or is she just...
She does the word thing, doesn't she?
Not, well, she often plays along occasionally, but
Yeah.
that's not her, area of expertise.
Right.
But
So
I
she's
still
just-
think she could do it as like a one-man thing.
She's just
Easily.
got this weird thing with numbers,
Well, she's good at maths.
which is like a Dennis, Hoffman. Hoffman?
Oh, yes,
In
like...
Rain Man. It's like a
yeah.
Rain Man thing. But she also, smiles and looks nice.
Is it like that, though, or is she just very good at maths and we're all a bit jealous?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think that people get jealous.
Well, it's not jealous, really, because how's it going to help you in your everyday life? It used to help you. If you wanted to work in a shop or behind a bar, you used to be able to have to add everything up in your head and then put the total into the till. But these days, of course, it's completely, well, it's not just not necessary, you can't do it, because you have to put each individual item in, because it's all part of the stock taking. So we're trained not to add up these days. It's a completely
Unless you
useless
do
skill.
the ads. Yeah.
Unless you
Alex
do the
has
ads.
to do his calculations with the ads all the time.
And what's your calculation telling us right now?
Go to the ads.
Go to the ads. See you, Louise.
Bye.
Apparently, every third...
He's very good, by the way. I believe every word he says. Talking of inability to add and subtract and so on, did you read this a little while ago, that the Kings of Burgers, McDonald's, is to serve up GCSE lessons in English and Maths for workers in its diners. Isn't that scary?
Yeah.
All 67,000 staff will be invited to go Mac to school. The sun, they just sit around. I'm sure they just sit around the pub and just think this stuff up. They're going to go back to school to boost their basic skills. A study showed that 1 in 5 new recruits to McDonald's had problems with spelling, punctuation and simple maths. When are they ever going to need it?
Never.
I mean, they don't have to add up, and they don't really have to...
And they've got
say
pictures
much.
on their screen when they're putting the burgers
they?
in. Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I went to McDonald's. I think it was when they first opened in this country, and we were thrilled beyond measure. We went to... we took... This was when I was at university in Uxbridge, and I think it was one of the first McDonald's to open in this country. And we used to send 2 cars out. One would go to McDonald's for the shakes and the fries and the apple pies. Caution, filling may be hot. And the other would go the other way to get the burgers from a wood-fired Hawaiian burger joint. Because, we were poor and we were students, but we did have standards.
Hello?
You're wondering what it's all about, and I can't tell you because I don't know myself.
I just find it hard to believe that anybody could hate working with Lorraine Kelly. She just seems so nice. I mean, she does nice for a living, doesn't she?
I used to work with her.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
And?
She's nice.
She's nice?
She is. She glows. She kind of glows, like
Yeah.
you're saying there. I mean, she'd be through the glass like you are, but I couldn't really make out her features. It would just be kind of a light.
Like you're looking at her through a screen.
Yeah.
Like what it must be like to look at Jesus.
And I was never allowed close enough.
What does that mean?
Well, to make out her proper features.
Right.
So I don't know if she had any.
You were never allowed close enough?
No, can't go that close.
What, her people?
To the talent,
kept you back? Does she have people?
Yeah, big posse.
I saw, who's the cooking woman? The strict woman who's,
Delia?
Delia, yeah. She just seems so strict. I passed Delia once, and she had this sort of aura about her, like she was floating a couple of feet off the ground. And she had people. That's why
holding her cakes at the time.
That's why you couldn't get anywhere near Delia. She had people. Well, as you would if you were, you know, a trillionaire, or whatever amount of money is she's got. Having gigantic amounts of money, it must be awful. Not really, no. Miss World, I can't believe that's still going. It's still going? Is that on TV anymore?
I don't know. Does anyone
not even ITV. Well, apparently it's been on the news twice.
Can't they do a Mr. World?
They do, don't they?
Do they?
Mr. Universe.
Oh, yeah, but isn't he about being muscly and strong?
Yeah.
Can't we just have, like, a Mr. World just to look at? Like the Miss World? I mean, you know.
What?
Because the woman doesn't really do anything, does she? She just says, oh, hi, I really care about my country. And that's kind of it, isn't it?
See, this is what I'm talking about when I say that all women hate all other women.
No, I don't
That's really
hate
offensive
other-
for you to say that. They might be giant brains, these women. I bet Miss Czech Republic's got a degree in something like physics or something like that.
I bet she doesn't.
Oh, come on. She's just stunningly attractive and bright.
Really?
Well, I don't know.
No, I bet she just looks a lot better in a bikini than most women do.
And you hate that.
I don't hate that.
She does.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, it's harmless fun, isn't it? I mean, the Western world seems to be unfashionable, and it has been for a little while, but I bet it comes back. And it'll come back in a sort of a not post-ironic, but in an ironic way. I'm amazed that ITV aren't showing it, because they're desperate. They're desperate for an audience. The only thing they've got on ITV now is the X Factor and Dick and Bob, or whatever those kids are called. What are they called?
I've got
Ant and Dec.
Ant and Dec, yeah. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. And they seem to be single-handedly holding that station up. They got the X Factor twice, with Ant and Dec in the middle of it on Saturday nights. And I bet that's the only thing that anybody watches on ITV anymore. Oh, they got The Street, of course, with that super opening music that's like a death march. No wonder no one's watching. You're depressed before anybody's even appeared. And the moment anyone does, it's all like that. Everybody's constantly moaning at everybody else, and they're looking at each other and wondering why no one's watching. We don't get it. It's because it's so depressing. Here is Robert from the Rhondda.
Hey, Nicky, you're so fine, you blow my
mind.
Say
Hey,
it.
Nicky.
Your parents really call you Nicholas?
Yeah, my parents do, yeah. Of course they do.
That's quite funny.
No, it's not.
It is.
I suppose so. Well, if you think about it, I'm a Nicholas Abbot.
Ian, middle name?
Yeah.
Very good. Any other names?
I'm a preverted man of the cloth. Well, did Abbots used to wear, were they allowed to wear underpants, or were the thing that they had over them, you know?
They hung free. Sorry.
Free as the wind blows. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been listening to you all day, actually, in the car. I've been doing a lot of driving. I've been listening to your 1997 Christmas special. Very good it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You've just gone to see Oasis in concert.
Oh, right. They were boring.
You were building up to something, but you never got to it, so I never knew what it was.
What, was it describing the concert? Well, I went to see Oasis at Wembley. It must have been a freebie, because I wouldn't have paid to see that. And they were just so dull. And, you know, the guy at the front, what's his name?
No.
Liam.
No, Liam, yeah.
I know a lot about popular music.
The simian-looking one. Well, the more simian of the two. He was there with his coat done up to his neck. He was on stage, and he just looked like he was waiting for the bus. It was chronic. And they had no kind of act, and no kind of set, really, and you came out humming the lighting. It was terrible. And I just got so bored after a while, I just started looking around at the crowd, which were infinitely more interesting and amusing than what was happening on stage. Beard-up, fat, white blokes dancing to rock music. Is there anything funnier? That was hilarious.
Well, after listening to this show, the question crossed my mind, what's Kev doing now?
Kev is, Kev is just a guy that I used to work with at other places. A former Lucy, yeah, that's right. And he is doing very well at a station in London called Smooth. Oh, yeah.
Oh, very good. Anyway.
Yeah. Smooth or
Groovy.
FM?
I bought a digital radio this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the business will be very pleased with you then.
Cost me 50 quid.
£50?
Yeah. It's a rather nice one. It won an award for design.
Right.
But, you know.
It's not that one that, that bloke who was supposed to be a designer and always appears on breakfast television with irritating glasses and his northern manner.
Who's that?
That Red or Dead bloke. What's his name? I can't stand him. For some reason, he rubs me up the wrong way. He's a designer. There used to be a clothes shop called Red or Dead in London when people used to go around with shoes with 5-inch soles. Remember that?
For me? No, I wasn't born.
No, not the 70s. This was when it came back in like the late 80s, early 90s, something like that. Up Neal Street, at the top of Neal Street, there was a shop called Red or Dead, and they used to do crappy shirts with huge collars and shoes that were on 5-inch platforms, you know, like a retro thing.
Oh, is he bald?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's kind of very
geeky.
Speaking.
Yeah, he's geeky, camp, and just like generally irritating.
I saw a program with him on once where he had a bunch of posh people round. He was arguing about designer food, and he made 2 meals, one with all really expensive ingredients, and one with all, how can I put it, that German supermarket ingredients.
German supermarket?
Let's call it Lidl.
Oh, right. I've never been in.
Well, anyway, these people, out of the two, A or B, they said, oh, B's very good. And it turned out to be the cheap stuff, and they're quite horrified.
Well, Gordon Ramsay, was it?
No, I don't know who these people were. It's some chef we've never heard of again. But, you know, made a point.
Wouldn't it be great if you never heard of a lot of TV chefs again? I mean, Ainsley Harriott, for a start. I'd pay a lot of money never to see Ainsley Harriott again. Can you believe that he's advertising a product called Fairy?
Is he married?
I've no idea.
I don't know how that crossed my mind. But, of course, TV chefs are the new Saturday morning children's programming.
Are they?
Yeah, tune in where you would expect, you know, your Tiswas and Live and Kicking and all them kind of things to be, and you'll find Anthony Worrell Thompson or some other guy on BBC One.
What, entertaining children?
No, cooking.
Oh.
Entertaining
That would be awful. Imagine if you're a kid and you wake up and your children's TV had been replaced by Anthony Worrell Thompson.
It is, and of course his show was so good when he was on the BBC that ITV poached him. Apparently.
They're just desperate, aren't they? I mean, I don't think anybody in TV, no one in television can actually create talent anymore. They just have to buy it off someone else.
Well, this might be good news. Last week I was watching Parkinson briefly.
Wayne Hemingway. This has come up with it. Wayne Hemingway.
That's it, that's his name.
Why did we get onto him, by the way?
You were talking about Red or Dead for some reason.
For some... Oh, yeah, but he's designed this digital radio thing, which is hideous.
No.
It's called The Bug.
Oh, definitely.
It's the worst-looking piece of home electronica I've ever seen in my life. And he's a genius designer. It's awful.
Mine's called One.
Oh well.
You
You've got one. Well done.
Anyway, I was watching Parkinson last week and talking about how desperate ITV are. Dame Edna's coming back with a chat show.
Is she?
She is. She kind of made. Talking to Parkinson, she was saying, yeah, ITV are kind of desperate, so I'm coming back. And it's about time as well.
Well, you know, there's precious few people who are funnier off the cuff than Dame Edna, but the chat show thing, it started to disappear of its own fundament after a while, because it became so much just... Well, I guess any Dame Edna event is just her, isn't it? And everyone else is
really
just a foil. No, it's just a comedy show with guests. Yeah, all right. Well, I'd tune into that as opposed to anything else on ITV. I can't think of a single thing on ITV that I watch these days.
No, not much. There's those awful quiz shows overnight, but...
They're making a huge amount of money for ITV, though, the Mint thing.
Yeah.
Like, call in now. What is your name?
I've called a few times.
You haven't?
I have. I thought I was on once. I thought, yes, I got it. No.
And how long did it take you to get on?
Ages. Well, you don't get on. There's 2 loops. First of all, you've got to call them, and it'll say, I'm sorry, you haven't been selected most of the time. Then, one time you'll call them and they say, hooray, you've been selected. Let's see if you'll go through to the studio. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not through to the studio. Call again.
And you pay each time, right?
60 pence. I was calling from mobile.
Are you insane? You must have been drunk.
Yes, I
Yes.
was.
Mm-hmm.
My friends got me very drunk and then made me call them one of those chat lines as well.
Yeah, right. And were you stunned when the bill came in?
£89.
£89. I mean, in Swansea, £89 would go a long
Buy a
way.
house.
I mean, there's a couple of streets that you could hang around. You could spend, you could have fun for the following 86 weekends with £86.
One of your callers was in Swansea earlier on.
You could be a regular customer. It's something to think about.
Okay.
Cheers, Rob.
Toodles.
Ta-ta. This is LBC.
He's up, she's down, she's...
I'm listening, dear. You can talk to me.
So we've got a picture of Miss Czech. Miss Czech? Miss Czech. Surely she's not called Miss Czech, is she? Miss Czechoslovakia, but there's no such thing anymore. Miss Czech. Is that what she's called?
I guess.
Miss Czech.
Miss Czech Republic, isn't it?
Oh, right. That
yeah.
will be. See, Alex is... he's the only smart one
Saved
here.
the day.
I've been following.
What a couple of dopes we are, Luce.
Trust Alex to know.
I think we should get a picture of what Miss Czech looks like. They must have a website. People, all over China will have been feverishly following it on their little... I don't know what they have over there. Computers, probably, just like the rest of us. Did you know 100,000 people get internet access every day in China? 100,000 new people in China get internet access every day. Did you realise that?
That's crazy, isn't it?
Amazing, yeah.
God.
And they've got 50,000 people in China checking up on them. So I think that the ball has run away with them there. Oh, here they go. Miss Costa Rica. Miss Czech Republic. Hey, she looks like a 50s glamour model, doesn't she?
I tell you what I haven't checked, though, if that's this year's. I'm presuming that is. Can I just go to the top? It doesn't really say, does it?
Well, it must be.
Must be her,
It wouldn't have had
mustn't
it from last year. She looks like... She looks like she would be one of those girls that's painted on the side of the Enola Gay, you know what I mean? Doesn't she look like a 50s glamour
Yeah,
model?
she does.
She looks very American. Miss Czech Republic, Veronika Verakova. The lovely Veronika owes her place in this poll to a quite fortuitous set of circumstances. You see, we had a workie in, and we told him to see what Pavel Nedved's wife looked like. He came back to us with this, and we liked it. What am I reading here? Miss World Cup 365 News. And then we found out she was actually married to the ice hockey player Peter Nedved. She's a wag.
Well, what do we think? Is she hot stuff?
Well, I mean, obviously she's...
Well,
she's
yeah, I guess she's
extremely
Miss
good
World.
looking. They all are. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no, there's
No,
none of that here.
no mooses along the way.
I've been carrying around this for a little while. This is a woman who is talking about the pressure of being a footballer's wife. Just one of these people, right? Life as a wag might, on the surface, seem pretty enviable. You shop, you have your nails done, hair extensions, and you behave like a perfect partner to your handsome footballer. But according to Cherie Murphy, wife of Liverpool player Harry Kewell, the former Emmerdale actress, wife of Liverpool player Harry Kewell, he's not a former Emmerdale actress, because that would be a story, wouldn't it? She is. And she's married to him. There's a lot more to it than just having your nails and your hair done. In fact, it can be quite challenging. You ready for this? This is what? There's no sense in you missing out here, Lucy.
Well, I'm listening.
In not being a wag, because it's actually challenging. You ready?
Yeah.
The battle for the best clothes, she says, is fierce. Particularly, she's being serious now, right?
Yeah.
This is part of the challenge of being a footballer's wife. Particularly a shop called Cricket, the Liverpool store, loved by northern wags, including Colleen McLaughlin, Alex Curran, and Nicola Carragher. There is huge competition to get the new stuff first, says the London-born 29-year-old. We'll ring up and try to get the manager to put stuff behind for us and make sure that none of the other wags buys it first. It's quite stressful, actually. It's almost a case of pushing one another out of the way to get to the best stuff. It almost comes to blows. I'm lucky, though, because one of my best friends is the manager, so it's easy for me to get the best stuff first. Me and my friends had preview nights. It's brilliant! Despite her clothing battles with her fellow wives and girlfriends, Cherie is first to jump to the defence of footballers' partners who opt to do little but shop and enjoy the media attention. She uses Wayne Rooney's fiancée, Colleen, as... Colleen. I mean, that just is so close to colon.
Well, it is when you say Colleen.
Well, what's her name?
Colleen.
Colleen.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney's fiancée, Colleen, is a perfect example, she says. If your husband or boyfriend says, look, darling, because this is exactly how they speak. Look, darling, is however much money, now go shopping then. Well, you would, wouldn't you? We're all human, she says. It does annoy me when the girls get criticised for shopping all the time and courting publicity. So not only is it stressful, but it's also annoying. This is a woman who will be remembered for her appearance on ITV's reality series, I'm a Celebrity, and my agent said it would be a good idea to get you in here. She embarrassed the Australian international with unguarded... Harry Kewell, right, this is who she's married to. Harry Kewell, he's Liverpool. And Australian. She embarrassed the Australian international with unguarded comments that he had a, quotes, smooth, peachy bum, and how he suffered stretch marks. Where would you get stretch marks as a bloke?
Well, I suppose if he'd been a bit chubby when he was younger and then lost lots of weight often...
No, he's been a footballer all his life. He just didn't come at the age of 25 and decide to be a footballer. He's been running around football pitches forever, you would assume. And besides, Australians, they're not known for their gigantic fatness, are they?
Maybe he had his
they're
appendix
outdoorsy
out and there's a bit of
types.
scarring or something.
No, that's scar marks. She said stretch marks.
Well, I know, but...
Where would you get stretch marks? I mean, stretch marks on women are for giving birth. It's quite understandable, because you've
women can have them anyway.
You've just expelled something the size of a
watermelon?
Yeah, all right, I'll go with that. Watermelon, yeah. Which is just ridiculous when you think about it.
Well, it is, yeah.
I mean, that you haven't evolved to just lay small eggs. It just seems unevolved of you.
So stupid, women.
Yeah, I mean, you women
Honestly.
are so stupid.
Some people are cleverer, though, because they have the old C-section and avoid all of that pushing.
Yeah, well, that doesn't sound very appealing either, does it?
No, then you've got the scars.
Yeah. And the surgery.
Mm.
But I don't understand where a bloke would get stretch marks. Where would you get stretch marks?
On your bum, maybe?
On your bum?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you get some sagging around your bottom. Who knows?
Not as a footballer. He's using his bottom all the time.
Well, that's the only place I can think, or on his thighs. But then if he's as you say, he's using both of those flabby, dunno, pecs.
They're so gigantically huge, his moobs. That's what they're called, right? Man boobs, moobs.
Moobs,
that's what I read, yeah. They're so swingingly enormous. He's getting stretch marks in his chestal area.
Oh.
Hey, it's MC Vanilla Ice Cream. Who won't answer to that until I call him Vanilla Ice. Or whatever your name is. What's your name? MC Yo. Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
How you going?
I'm cool. Safe, yeah? Safe.
Safe?
Yeah, you safe?
I am safe, yeah. Always be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So, what's up?
All this gun crime, knife crime's pretty scary, isn't it?
Well, only if you're a young male. Apparently they're and particularly a young black male. I think as old geezers, we're relatively safe. Partly because we don't go into McDonald's and pick fights, and partly because we don't know a lot of other youths who think...
Yeah, how old are you, Nick?
Oh, just way too old to be, running with gangs. 40s...
About 102.
Yeah.
Yeah. It isn't safe on the streets, is it? 'Cause,
well, where do you come from?
Marlow.
Marlow. You'd have to assume that unless things have got really out of hand, that Marlow would be fairly safe.
Well, yeah.
I mean...
There's a gangs down there.
Gangs in Marlow?
Yeah.
What, like gangs of rowers?
Nah. Brutal force. Stray dogs. Bro, they're all gonna get me.
Well, we've all got
my crew.
We've all got our fingers crossed. Yeah, there he is back with the rowing again. I'll be your crew. You can be the cocks. I think that would be fairly appropriate. Let's have Philip in South Norwood.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
Oh, it's Mr. Lister.
Oh, yes, Mr. List. Nick, I've got a couple of questions I'd like to ask you tonight.
Well,
First of all,
I'll take you either side of the news.
Okay.
All right.
Have you ever judged a beauty contest, Nick?
Have I ever judged a what?
A beauty contest.
Oh, judged? No, I have not.
Oh, I've done two.
Why?
Well, it was in the early 60s. I was at a holiday camp.
Which one? Butlins?
Well, no, actually, it was two separate ones. It was a Butlins one. It was a Butlins hotel in Blackpool. And they asked me, they were a bit short of people to judge. This was the normal beauty contest, you know.
What does that mean, normal?
When you hear what the second one was, you'll understand.
The abnormal one?
Yeah, the abnormal one, yes. That was on the Isle of Sheppey.
Oh, well, say no more. Isle of Sheppey, you say?
Yes.
Notorious.
Yeah, I was on a tour of all the holiday camps. Now, this one, well, the first one was a normal one, you know, with beautiful girls, you know, and they said, oh, blokes would come up to me and say, oh, my daughter's there, you know, give her a good number of points and all that. Anyway.
My whole life flashed before me just for a second there. I was thinking, what is he going to say? Give her a couple of points, you say?
Yeah, I mean, you know, because, you know, you grade them, don't you, you know?
Well, you got to, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, you give, it was called Miss North Pier, that one.
Right, and out of 10, did you give her 1?
No, I gave her 5. And
you were there for a long weekend then, were you?
Yes, you know, it was wonderful. Went up for the illuminations.
All right.
The second one, Nick, was a swap beauty contest. What it was, they decided they wanted all the men to dress up as women and the women to dress up as men. You see, and I was on the panel that had to judge the women that were dressed up as men.
And what year was this?
It was in the early 60s. It was only about 60
well, of course, at that time, everyone was going around with very long hair. It was quite difficult to tell the difference. Listen, wait a minute, hold that thought. I know, once he gets up a head of steam, he's hard to stop.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But we're going to have to go for the news and we'll come right back, all right?
Okay.
It's devastating.
Oh, boys.
Hello, Philip.
Oh, yes, Nick. The second beauty contest...
See, with that, he's just straight in there. You are a professional.
I thought you could do the weather.
Yeah, we've got no idea what it's going to be like.
Deep depression, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
The second one, Nick, as I say, was the swap one. And what amazed me was all the women who dressed up as men, they all painted moustaches on their lips. I mean, why? I don't know.
To look more like men?
Well, I suppose so, but I mean, you know, you had very few men that actually had moustaches, you know, but...
But I thought it had just stopped being the case that all men wore hats and had moustaches.
Oh, they wore hats. Right. Oh, yes, some of them had, I think they borrowed their husbands' hats, and I think the married couples did the best because they were able to, you know, swap clothes as well as, you know. But it was fascinating, you know, I judged them on if they really did look like a man, you know, the women, you know, and, and I think what the prize was, I think it was a 3 weeks holiday, I think.
Yeah, I bet it was, just something exactly like that, yeah. Second prize is 2 weeks free holiday, yeah.
Yes. The other thing was, Nick, I was looking at the shop today, the number of calendars there are on display.
Yes.
Have you got a calendar?
No.
Oh, well, I wrote down, Betty's going to kill me for this, about 7 subjects there are in calendars.
Oh, God.
The interesting ones.
Yeah, I bet. Here's a list.
Outhouses. And this is toilets.
Outhouses?
Yeah, you know, the toilets. It's an American calendar, and, you know, the people have got the toilets out the back garden.
Yeah, it's like a wooden shack with a half moon cut into the door.
And you can have a calendar of that, so you can have a different toilet every month.
Great.
The second one is cowgirls.
Cowgirls?
Cowgirls.
What's a cowgirl?
Well, yes, that one, yes. And so you can turn over every month and you can have a different girl with a cow. Extreme golf holes. Now, this is what they've done, is they've superimposed golf holes on unusual subjects like the Old Man of Hoy. You know, the thing in Scotland. You know the mountain, or not the mountain, the rock?
No.
Oh. Well, what they've done, they put golf holes in unusual places, you know. Like the middle of the Thames and things like that.
Huh.
So you get a different golf hole every month.
Right.
Right, you're going to like this one.
I doubt it.
Oh, you are. Naked female farmers. This is very similar, I think, to the calendar girls one, you know, where people are doing it for charity. Only these are young farmers.
Right.
So you can have naked.
Doing it for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Badges. You can have a calendar with badges.
Really?
Yes. And here's one that, I mean, as you're into music, there's a calendar of Johnny Holiday.
Johnny Halliday calendar.
Johnny Halliday. How do you pronounce him?
I pronounce
Johnny
it
Halliday.
Johnny Halliday. Yeah.
Halliday.
And he can take it or leave it as he
Yeah,
chooses.
so, I mean, you know, there's such a wide selection. Can I make one final point?
Okay, then.
I went to this shop, it hasn't closed yet. You know the record shop I told you about that's closing down?
No.
And I picked up 2 wonderful bargains today. They're getting rid of their LPs for 80p.
Right, they must be rubbish.
No, they're not.
I bet they are.
Well, I'll tell you, what about this then? I have got the 4 Seasons Gold Edition, 29 gold hits, a 2-record set for 80p.
Right, you were robbed, mate.
No, what is... It's got every single track on there from the 4 Seasons.
Right, I bet that we've heard of one of them, at most.
Oh, no, I'm sure. I mean, the Sherry, Big Girls Don't Cry, Walk Like a Man, Dawn, Ragdoll, Let's Hang On.
All right, well, I've heard of all of those.
Yeah, well, I think they're all on there.
80p, eh?
80p.
What
and
a
the other
bargain.
one is actually my favourite singer from the 60s, still singing, the explosive Freddie Cannon.
Right, I know nothing about Freddie Cannon.
Oh, you've never seen Freddie Cannon?
No.
Great performer. Great. Still, he comes over here occasionally. That was 80p.
Great, well, I can't wait not to see him.
And it's got 17 tracks on it. So, I mean, it's all happening out there, Nick. You know, I mean...
You just have to look for it, eh?
There's so much going on.
Keep your eyes peeled, Philip.
I will do. All the best, Nick.
Thanks a lot. Do you think he's... I don't know, either he's on giant amounts of caffeinated coffee, or he's just naturally that quick, because there's no stopping him. He's like an out-of-control express train. Once he's started, he just can't stop. Like Pringles. Hey, you know, the crisp companies have started the backlash. I saw two different companies. Between them, they'd taken about, I don't know, at least half a dozen full-page colour adverts in the national press saying, please eat our crisps. Basically just that. Because Jamie Oliver has cut a swathe through the junk food companies. Good for him. He should be ennobled in some way, shouldn't he? He should be Sir Jamie Oliver. Well, that wouldn't really fit, would it? My dear, he's Sir Bob Geldof.
I think he will be Sir Jamie Oliver at some stage, don't you think?
Isn't that ridiculous?
What, Sir?
Yeah.
Or Jamie being Sir?
Well, both. That Bob Geldof is a Sir is ridiculous.
Oh, God, I meant to tell you, Bob Geldof, when we get the papers, in the Times tomorrow, in the style section, he's being given a makeover, and I really want to see the pictures. Because apparently he cares about fashion.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Does he care about it as much as the poor starving children in Africa? Does he care about
maybe
it?
just not tomorrow.
Right. Does he care about it as much as, you know, all that great music that he's given the world? Like,
I Don't Like Mondays?
Yeah. And that's it. There's a happy, cheerful song about some kid that went to school and shot everybody.
That's right, yeah. It's a cheerful song.
Henry Kelly had a go at Bob Geldof in the Telegraph today.
Oh,
and
did he?
pretty much everything he said was absolutely spot on.
Oh. Oh, I missed that.
I think, to sum it up, he said basically, shut up, Bob Geldof. Shut up, basically. Leave us alone and just shut up. And he spent virtually half a page in saying it. And I was mentally cheering inside, because I've thought that for the longest time. Bob Geldof, just shut up.
Oh, okay.
But because he's a Sir, and because he does good work for charity, then no one can say a bad word against him, right? But if he spent less of his time sucking up the publicity and more of his time actually doing, you know, helping out, which a lot of people do, they do unpublicised work for charity.
Yeah.
Then, you know, maybe you'd be getting more done. But instead it's just like, it's Bob, 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 you know?
Can we still look at the pictures?
Yeah, all right. Well, the papers are going to come in about 20 minutes. I mean, he's just going to look like Bob Geldof in a suit, right? They'll have combed his hair.
Yeah, but I'd quite like to see that. He'd look quite different, I think, with combed hair. Don't you think? Didn't they get to wash him as well first?
Well, yeah, why put on a... because presumably the clothes are going to have to go back, aren't they?
Yeah.
I would insist on it.
Same.
It's, hey, Mandy.
Hi, Nick.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm not that good, actually.
Hey, did you hear that Miss Czech Republic won the Miss World thing? Isn't that great?
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't watch it anymore.
Is it on TV? Someone must have
be
it.
on Sky. It must be.
On Sky?
I suppose so.
Well, you know, it used to be the cornerstone of your Saturday night entertainment when in the good old days.
Yeah, I think it was a Thursday night. I don't know why.
Kind of ridiculous, really. I mean, that was what the nation sat down and watched, and women would sit down and I can understand that men would sit down and watch it because you know pornography wasn't readily available in the 70s, but that women would sit down and watch it, and I'm just confused. Lucy's just found Mr. World contest. She's going to be slobbering over the pictures as I speak. The search is on for the world's most desirable man. For the very first time, Mr. World 2006 will take place in China. China?
Yeah.
You would think that China would be would allow such a thing.
Why?
Well, I don't know. It sounds a bit decadent to me. The show will be broadcast worldwide for the first time, and viewers will be involved in the judging process. Huh, it'll be hands-on, Lucy. Can you even wait?
I can't.
I thought it was me when you said Lucy, sorry.
Is your name Lucy?
No, it's Mandy.
Mandy, yeah. You crazy mixed-up woman.
I've had a steroid injection in my arm today and it hurts.
A steroid injection?
Yes.
All right. We see, if you just go to the gym and work out, it'll actually be much better for you.
No, not when you've got calcium on your shoulder.
Calcium?
A strip of calcium. I've seen the X-ray. It's horrible.
I don't get it.
You have a strip of calcium that forms on your shoulder. A white strip on the X-ray.
You know where they get calcium from?
Yeah, I don't drink milk. It's really weird. I don't drink milk. Nick.
Yes?
I want you to do Countdown.
You want me to do Countdown? Do you understand the audience for Countdown? I mean, that they're 100-year-old ladies.
Not everyone.
Yes, everyone.
And the contestants aren't all old.
Students don't watch it ironically anymore. They've gone on to watching Noel Tidybeard over on the other channel.
Yeah, like, what, Noel Edmonds?
Yeah.
Well, he's on straight after Countdown.
Oh, well, like I said, it's the same people.
Well, I watched Deal or No Deal. I don't think I've ever missed one.
Why? It's no kind of a... what is it about it you love? I'm really confused about this.
I don't know. It's sad. I really, really enjoy it.
Just, but what bit of it do you enjoy? Because there's no questions that you can answer along with. Because every other quiz show has some kind of audience participation. Even if it's got nothing to do with the programme, you can sit there and answer the questions. Or if you're watching University Challenge, not answer the questions.
Yeah. Well, I just enjoy the excitement of the books being...
Oh, come on. There's got to be something better to do at that time of day than wait for... Because that show could be over in 10 seconds. Open the box, how much have you won? That's it. See you next week.
Yeah, it could be. It hasn't happened, but it could be.
Which makes me very suspicious.
I believe the bookies have got Carol Waterman as favourite to take over from Des Lynam.
But Carol Vorderman...
She does it.
She's there already. Yeah. No, they're going to have some twinkly old geezer because it's
I've got a list.
Because it's old dears that watch that programme.
I've thought of.
Which is really weird because Richard Whiteley there's nothing sexual. There was nothing sexual about that man at all. I mean, I can understand that women of a certain age would like Des because he's got this sort of twinkly old.
Oh, very twinkly.
Yeah. But Richard Whiteley, I mean, there's not a scintilla of sex about that man, was there?
No, but he was there from day one, I suppose. But I've thought about it since I heard that this morning, and I thought, except that he's not nationally known.
Whom?
Alistair Stewart.
Alistair Stewart. Oh, the newsreader bloke.
From London Tonight.
Right.
What do you think of that?
I find him really irritating.
Do you know, all men say that. Why?
Do they? There's just something about I just don't like jokey news programmes. I just can't stand it.
It's not jokey.
It is. It's very jokey. Him and his female sidekick.
He used to be on LBC.
Huh?
He used to be on LBC.
Well, when he was on LBC, he was great.
No, she did. Katie Durham.
Right, like I said, she was great. But now, I just can't stand all those, because it's an American thing, and it's bad enough in America, but when we try to do American things here, it just becomes much, much worse.
What's American?
Where you'll get one old guy sitting next to the young a woman who may be intelligent, she just looks like a bubble-headed bleached blonde. Whether she's blonde or not is irrelevant. She just looks completely vacant. And he'll say something, oh, so what are you doing this weekend? And, oh, I don't know, I'm just going to go ahead. and then his, 6 people have just been shot in McDonald's. And then, and here's the weather. And,
yeah, they don't.
Can't stand
it's
it.
Not live, is it? So come on.
Not live?
Well, Countdown?
No, I'm talking about Countdown. I'm talking about the news programme.
Oh, London Tonight?
Yeah, awful.
Oh,
But not just London Tonight. The BBC Breakfast News are just as guilty.
I don't watch it.
Which I can't stand.
watch
And every time they come on, I just have to tune over to Sky. Isn't it incredible that Sky News is more intelligent a watch than the BBC Breakfast News?
Yeah.
It amazes me every morning. Every morning I wake up, full of the joys of spring. The birds are twittering in my mind.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like a Walt Disney cartoon when I get up. Little birds are helping me on with my clothing, and squirrels are running to and fro, and then I make my porridge, and everything's lovely in the world. And then I turn on the BBC Breakfast News, and I'm blood has started pouring out my eyeballs. I just can't stand it.
Why don't you just do what I do and leave your television on Sky News, so when you put it on in the morning, it's on Sky News?
That's a good idea, Mandy.
I can't believe that somebody as bright and intelligent as you hasn't done that.
Oh, I'm so stupid.
Mine's on Sky News now and it's off.
Right.
So when I put it on in the morning, it'll be on Sky News.
You're a genius.
I can't watch that rubbish on BBC.
So irritating. But if they just presented the news like it's news, instead of it being a personality show, it's not a chat show, and I don't care about their personalities. I hate them. Well, I really do. And when I think about it, I think, I hate it.
Don't watch it, Nick.
I won't watch it.
Protest.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Protest and don't watch it.
Okay, I'll stand up for what I sit down for.
Yes. Now, aren't you excited that I'm going where I'm going tomorrow night? I know you're going to go, no. No.
Where are you going tomorrow night?
You're going to put the phone down on me. I'm going to a concert.
A concert?
Yeah.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Oh, because I've had this conversation with you before. Who do you hate the most?
Who do I hate the most?
Well, not hate, but dislike.
Oh, blimey. I'll have to start a list. Get me a pen and paper. Who do I hate the most?
I know you don't like this person.
I don't hate anyone.
I know you don't like him. And he's very talented and very versatile, and he's very, very good live.
Yeah.
Who?
I'm embarrassed now.
Say it.
Will Young.
Will Young? What? Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I'm in the front row.
Oh, God.
No.
You better duck when he moves around, because he'll knock you out with that lantern jaw of his.
Oh, shut up.
Will Young.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, can anybody sing any of Will Young's songs right now?
No.
No, not one single person listening to this show right now can sing anything that Will Young has ever done.
I've got...
Apart from Light My Fire, and that wasn't his.
No, it wasn't. Do you know who wrote it?
Yeah, it was The Doors.
No, I don't think it was.
Ooh, well, get you.
Wasn't it Jose Feliciano?
No, Jose Feliciano, he had the hit of The Doors song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see?
Oh, okay.
Smart mouth.
I apologise. Sorry.
I don't accept your apology.
Oh, please.
Oh, all
We
right,
haven't
then.
spoken for ages. Please.
Oh, I know. I've been on a lucky streak. So you're going to go and see him tomorrow?
Yeah.
How much did that cost?
Well, because I went to Wembley Arena to get the tickets and didn't
Right,
do it.
no excuses. How
no,
much?
I didn't do it through an agency because they lob their money on it.
Yeah, I can't stand that, yeah.
£32 a ticket.
What?
£32 each?
£32.50.
Right. Well, that'll be good value for money, won't it?
Through an agency, they were like 37 quid. It's such a cheat.
Yeah, no, how can they possibly justify that, by the way? I bought a couple of tickets to something the other day, and it was on the net. It doesn't cost them anything at all. And they charged me, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, or they just plucked numbers out of the air.
Yeah.
How is that possible? It's like you go into a shop and you say, how much is this widget, please? And they'll say, that's £5. You go to the till and you pay for it, and it's £7.50. Well, it's a £2.50 charge to sell it to you. That's just incredible, isn't it?
It drives you mad when they do that on the net. Or anywhere where you ring up. If you'd ring up Wembley, they'd charge you that money, but I actually went.
You went all the way up to Wembley? What does it look like up close? I've only seen it from afar.
They confused me, the arena, yeah, because the entrance has been moved to the back. Oh, it's so confusing. But if you pay cash, you pay less as well. If I'd have paid by switch, it would have been an extra £2. So I knew that, so I took cash with me. I'm not stupid.
So to go to the Will Young concert, you have to, you have to go around the back.
Oh, very good, very good.
That was weak.
It was awful. They've moved the arena. Have you been there recently?
No, that's what I'm just saying. What was it? Oh, Lucy's freaking out. Ads at 45, and I'm already 6 minutes late. Just tell me what Wembley Stadium looked like up close.
The stadium?
Yeah, well, you were right there, weren't you?
Well, it's being built.
I know that.
White arch.
Yes, well, tell us. You were stunned, right?
Yeah, it was pretty. The white arch bit.
Yes,
amazing.
you couldn't care less.
But the arena, where you think you're going to go in,
right,
is the back.
Yeah.
And there's a bit at the back, in front.
Rear entrance. Yeah.
And yes, and they're charging £15 to park there now. It's not a cheap outing, this.
No, and it'll be painful while it's going on as well.
It won't.
Call me next week and tell me I'm wrong.
Of course I will.
All right, thanks, Mandy.
Take care.
Ta-ta. This is LBC.
Here's a delicious and very different.
Hello.
Going soft, he shouts, he rants, he's famously tight, yet something about new groom Bob Geldof is sexier than ever. Krista de Souza gets an audience. And you know what? He just looks like the same scruffy, unwashed bloke that everybody knows. I wouldn't touch him with yours. Ugh. He just looks horrible, doesn't he?
What are the inside pictures like? I didn't get to see those.
Greasy old geezer.
He's only shaved.
It's just horrible. I just don't... There's something really repellent about him. There is. OK, the newspapers are in. The Observer. Boring! Yeah, all right. Forget about that one. Who can be bothered? Life's too short. The Sunday Express, they're giving away 3 jazz CDs. 3.
Lucy loves jazz.
I like jazz. There's going to be a new...
I don't really like jazz.
Don't you?
No.
What is it with jazz that people go, I don't like that? How can you not like it?
I think you've got to have a lot of patience for jazz.
No, you know what? I think that people are confused. It's not jazz that you don't like. It's music that goes... It's like free-form jazz you don't like. Jazz. There's all sorts of fabulous things to enjoy, like classical music.
Mm-hmm.
Until Classic FM came along, people said, I don't like it. But then when you listen to it, oh yeah, you think, that's great.
I like freeform jazz.
Always very difficult. How you can work with him, Lucy, I don't know.
There's a guy
in
my block of flats who's learning to play the saxophone.
Really?
Or I assume he's learning to play the saxophone by the noises that come out.
Well, either that or he's strangling cats.
He's strangling a parrot in there or something, yeah, I think. It's great. It's
that would drive me up the wall.
Sounds good.
He's far enough down, I just hear him when I go out.
Right. But no, I love jazz music. How can you not like jazz music? That's ridiculous.
Okay,
That's like saying I don't like
too broad,
music.
Yes, okay, I can't really say that.
Yeah.
But
listen to some Miles Davis. Go and buy...
oh, yeah, I quite like... Actually, I do
there
quite
you
like
are, you
that.
see. He's the king of jazz.
Yeah, my husband makes me listen to that. I think that's the thing. I think
you're very lucky to have
trained
found
at
him.
Music. No, but that's the thing. I hate being told that I should be liking certain things, and then we have to listen to it at home. listen to this and you'll like it. I won't.
You should listen to your husband more.
Never.
Lucy Blackman. Oh, no, we don't want to read about that. Free jazz CDs, that's what they're giving away. And it says that the big red splash on the front of the Daily Express says 20p cheaper than the Mail on Sunday. Is that... People wouldn't make their minds up about which paper they want just because it's 20p cheaper, would they? Because the people who read the Mail on Sunday, they're never going to read anything else. They're mail readers, aren't they? They are so stuck in their ways that it doesn't matter. It could be free, the Express, and they wouldn't pick it up, right?
So what's the Sunday Times strap £1.50 more expensive than everyone else?
It's gone up, hasn't it?
Well, they can do whatever they want because they sell, I think, twice as much as their nearest competitor. Isn't the nearest competitor the Telegraph? And they sell... They've got the market sewn up as the Murdoch stable. They've got the News of the Screws and the Sunday Times, and no one else gets a look in. Everyone else is desperately running around throwing free CDs around. Anyway, that's the Daily Express. On the inside, Jennifer alone with her most loyal friends, cutting a lonely figure with only her dogs for company. It would seem that when romance hits the rocks, Jennifer Aniston heads for the beach. Can you believe that Jennifer Aniston can't get a date?
No. Maybe, but sometimes celebrities struggle, don't they, a bit, to find people? Because people can't take them seriously.
Yeah, but she's going out with other celebrities.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that's the easiest thing? Celebs stick in celeb world?
Yeah.
Because they can't cope with normal people or something.
It's just that normal people can't cope with the world. Because if you're a normal person, say Jennifer Aniston went out with someone like, I don't know, you, Alex. You must have dreamt of that.
Every night.
Then you wouldn't... It would be very difficult, because every time you stepped out the front door, everybody would be going, oh, Jen, this way, Jen, Alex, would you get out of the way? Jen, take your top off, love, and all of that. And it would undermine your sense of masculinity, because you wouldn't be the man. She'd be the man.
Oh, I think I could put up with that.
Where would that put you? And just the constant... To be thrown into that world from nothing. Because Jennifer Aniston, wasn't presented as one of the world's most famous women. She gradually became it, wasn't she? With the Friends thing. And so you can gradually get used to it, but if you're thrown into it, it must be horrific.
But some celebrities still manage to not be always caught the limelight, don't they? They manage to remain relatively, quiet.
Well, do they? Are they celebrities if they're quiet? I thought the very nature of being a celebrity is that you're always on.
Well, you are, but I think you can be a little bit more discreet than other celebrities, can't you?
Helen Mirren got on a bus the other day. Did you see that? Somebody was taking pictures of her. She actually got on a bus.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I suppose so. It's a bit weird, though, isn't it?
Well, it's kind of a normal thing to do.
Well, yeah, if you're normal.
But I bet you she gets spotted far less by getting on a bus than if she got into a chauffeur-driven car.
Well, quite possibly, yeah. That's why they have blacked-out windows. That's why God made blacked-out windows.
Just for us to be curious.
Yeah. OK, so that's the Express. Not much happening there. The Sunday Telegraph, what are they giving away? 2-for-1 entry to over 250 National Trust attractions. And because I often go to National Trust attractions, I like putzing around, around old houses and thinking, these rooms are so huge and the ceilings are so high. And you go back into your little cardboard box in an alleyway somewhere, and you think, how were these people so rich? But the catch is that you have to go there by, I think it's October the 19th.
Where?
To a National Trust attraction.
Right, and what do you get if you do that?
Well, you get 2-for-1 entry.
Oh, right. Well,
but a lot of them will be shut by now, because they all have seasons, right? And most of their seasons will be the end of September, so there'll be precious few open. I'm just saying this off the top of my head. I don't know that it's true. They might all be open specifically for this, this fabulous giveaway. But there are many that aren't in the thing. So, restrictions apply. And you have to go by the end of October. Because who wants to go around National Trust property in October? It's raining and freezing cold.
That might be quite nice if you've gone for a nice brisk walk and then you want to go indoors and...
God, how does your husband cope with your constant positivity? What was that noise, by the way?
I think it was Alex.
Yes.
Your phone?
Yes.
Shouldn't your phone be on vibrate?
Yes.
Yes.
You're always caught out with that. What does it say now?
Yes. It's not Philip in South Norwood anymore.
What is it?
It's, Gay in the Soldier.
It's what?
What?
Gay in the Soldier.
Gay in the Soldier.
What?
What does that mean?
It was from Ian's show. Someone was ringing in talking about gays in the army, but he couldn't quite get it out properly, so it came out
Gay in the Soldier.
instead.
Where the hell are my Judy Garland records, damn it?
Cameron says Brown is weak, tragic and laughable. That's not very nice, is it? Well, he's actually come out with a position on something. Banned. Police ordered to stop calling young tearaways yobs. I think this country has actually lost its mind. They are the menacing youths who hang around in gangs causing trouble. For decades they've been known as yobs. It's been rare for anybody to have a good word to say about them. But now it seems police officers are going to have to find a more polite way to describe the nation's troublemakers, because Scotland Yard has banned its officers from using the word yob for fear that it might alienate young people. Oh my... I mean, that's what they're worried about. The Daily Mail, the Sunday Mail rather, Mail on Sunday, they're very upset about something. They always are. It says, Britain's Vietnam. Oh, the war thing. What else? Jerry Rafferty's private plane to Blotto Street. Jerry Rafferty? I used to live next to Jerry Rafferty. Jerry Rafferty used to live at the bottom of my garden. Horribly gorra. He did. I used to live in poshest Hampstead. And when I was moving out, having lived there for about 3 years,
Yeah.
the bloke who was building a wall at the house at the bottom of this sort of cutesy garden that I used to live in, this sort of fairyland type place in the middle of Hampstead, they said, "Oh, you know who lives in there?" Because he was Welsh. he said Jerry Rafferty. Jerry Rafferty was my next door neighbour, Mr. Baker Street himself.
Wow.
And he's got a very nice place.
You sounded very excited when you said that.
Did I?
You did.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I must have been thinking of something else. Drunken behaviour on commercial flights is unfortunately an increasingly commonplace occurrence, but it's not often that police are called to greet a boozy passenger off a tiny 5-seater private plane and then discover he's an international singing star. This was the ignominious welcome that Jerry Rafferty, the multi-millionaire writer of Baker Street... See, that's all you need to do, is come up with a song. Can we not do that? Just the one song. That's all it would take. Baker Street, just one song.
What about Latimer Road? Come on.
Well, I can't believe that somebody had an international hit with Baker Street. That's one of the most boring streets in London. What is it? Name me one shop on Baker Street. You can't. Not one.
Royal Academy of Music.
That's not a shop.
I know, but that's just something on it.
They got a little cinema.
Where's that?
They got a pret-a-manger right at the top.
Well, there's a pret-a-manger everywhere.
I know, but not enough. Because
Really?
Often you'll look around and there isn't one within 10 yards.
Oh, you a fan?
Oh, I'd say that... What are you screwing your nose up for?
I've got a bit disappointed in the amount of filling inside the sandwiches these days. They're all at the edge just as you go to eat them, and at the back of the baguette there's nothing there. It's a con.
No, I totally disagree. I think that they have single-handedly revolutionised... Well, they haven't. If the rest of the sandwich-making fraternity had followed their lead, they would have revolutionised sandwich-making in this country. But they remain a shining beacon on a heap of festering, smelly dung that is the rest of the sandwich-making business. I won't buy sandwiches from anyone else.
Have you eaten
I'd
inside?
rather go hungry. Huh?
Do you eat inside a pret-a-manger ever?
Rarely.
Well, if you do... As soon as you've literally put the last mouthful in your mouth, they're like, right, get out.
No,
We're
they
waiting
are
for next
not.
people. Yes, they are.
What is wrong? Have you got shares in Benji's or something?
No.
They did not say get out.
They literally did. They started sweeping up around me, cleaning my area, and they were like, when you've done...
They
when
were
you're
cleaning
done,
your area?
They were. They were doing all the table, all the crumbs around me.
Oh, right. I thought you...
And I was like, oh, how annoying. And then they were like, well... they said, we're waiting to seat more people, so if you wouldn't mind vacating the area.
Exactly. Vacate the area.
But I barely even put it in my mouth.
Shut up.
So understanding.
No, I had a cheese sandwich there today, and it was
cheese.
It was one of the most
so boring.
Oh no, it was one of the most sensational things I've ever put in my mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
God.
Shut up. Anyway, this is not an advert. We just were why were we talking about that? Oh, Baker Street.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was apparently so drunk after his 10-hour bender that he had to be taken. This is how your millionaire rock star should behave. He arrived in Inverness after drinking his way through a transatlantic flight. He was apparently so drunk after his 10-hour bender that he had to be taken off the flight in a wheelchair. When police arrived at the airport, they had no choice but to take him to a... What's this? Oh, yeah. And it's this sax break that made the song, isn't it? And then the guitar afterwards, and I'm not sure that he was responsible for either of these things. He's just got a man in. But see, wouldn't that be great if you just could write a song? You could write the Countdown song, and they could play that forever and a day, and then you can go and buy Frognall in Hampstead. You could buy the whole road. Anyway, you'll have to read, you'll have to read the Daily Mail, the Sunday Mail, if you want to get that. Oh, you get a free wildlife wall chart. A free wildlife wall chart.
Boring.
Nobody wants one. What do we got? Oh, here's the Sunday Times. I was saying this last week, and it's absolutely true. Look at the front page of the Sunday Times there. And look at every other paper. On every other paper, including the broadsheets, you can barely see the page for the ink. On the Sunday Times, acres of blank page, isn't there? But I think that's excellent. I think that looks really, really modern. Whereas all these ones that are packed like the...
you just notice colour on all the others,
well,
don't you,
all of the other pages go bleh at you. It's an assault on the eyeballs. Whereas the Sunday Times looks like... Well, it looks like a web page, like a giant...
Like a nice plain cheese sandwich.
Well, it wasn't a plain cheese sandwich. It had it wasn't very good for you. Pickle and tomatoes
I bet it was
and
a
lettuce.
fancy pickle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a pickled cheese sandwich. I'm telling you, you've got to try it. It was fabulous. I think I would say it's the best sandwich in the world.
And I bet you had to pay a fortune for it.
No, it was like £2 something.
Yeah, but if you made that at home, it would be
it wouldn't be even
80p.
remotely as nice.
Oh, but just think, you could buy the best cheese in the world and put it in your sandwich then, and make some of your own chutney. That would be much nicer. See?
I don't know what you've done to upset the nice people at Pret. For them wanting you out so badly, but it's obviously there's obviously been some sort of contretemps.
No, I like their chicken and avocado baguette. That's quite nice. But it's kind of not that exciting.
Could you be any posher? A chicken and avocado baguette. Did you have a serviette with it? But the Sunday Times, the front page, there's no end of blank page on it. They've hardly printed any words on it at all. I think it looks really modern, don't you think? Modern and clean.
It's really lovely. You should frame it.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah. Tories talk of the NHS sell-off. David Cameron's policy chief has declared there will be no limit to privatisation of the National Health Service under a Conservative government. Well, somebody's got to do something, haven't they? I mean, we've tried and tried and tried, and we've thrown all the money under the sun at it, and we've got one of the worst health services in Europe. You believe that? I mean, still they're killing people. But people will stick up for it because, it's the NHS, and you can't say a bad word against it. Even if it is a disaster, just because it's British. What?
I was going to say, it's better than some of the healthcare I've seen in America, and you have to pay for it there.
I don't know, people fly from this country to America to get healthcare.
I waited 8 hours in a hospital in America once just to be seen.
8 hours?
Yeah.
What was wrong with you?
Well, it wasn't me, actually, it was a friend, but
what was
I
wrong
waited
with
with
him?
them. I think they had a kidney infection.
Well, did they have insurance?
Yeah. We were told to go to this certain hospital, and 8 hours in the waiting room it was. And this is a major city, East Coast city.
And did they know he had insurance? I mean, this is not. This wasn't a.
And it wasn't. It wasn't
because they have proper. Well, not proper. They have hospitals where people go who have money, and then they have like health, like community care hospitals where people go who haven't got any money, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't one of those.
No. I mean, it was in a city, but not in the ghetto.
Because I've sat in a. I went to a club once, and I put earplugs in. Because it was really incredibly loud. It was a very tiny place called the Milk Bar, which was opposite the Astoria, and it was a very small room, completely enclosed by tiles, and so the sound in there would bounce off, and it was so loud. And I used to go every single week, and God, it was
just abuse it.
It was the best club in the world ever. Danny Rampling used to play there, and so I put earplugs in. But I used to make them, earplugs come in great big waxy thing, and if you use the whole thing, it sticks out your ear, and you look like
you have to mould them, don't you?
Yeah, you look like you got a growth. And so I used to pull them to be as small as I could, so that, and of course, it went in.
I can see where this is going.
It went in and didn't come out again.
Ever?
Well, I couldn't get it out.
Oh no!
And so I had to leave there and go to the hospital. And I sat in a plastic chair for so long, it fused to my bottom. I'm carrying it around with me to this day.
How embarrassed did you feel when you had to admit what your problem was?
Well, not embarrassed at all. It's perfectly reasonable. I lost something in my ear, doctor.
While other people sat there with broken legs.
Yeah.
Saucepans stuck on
Well, the irritating thing was there was no one there. I was the only person in there. And, of course, there's no comfortable position to sit in on those plastic chairs at all. You can't lie on them because they've got those ridges to further cushion your giant bottom. And you can't lean back on them because they dig into your kidneys, and so
the wax will go further into your head.
Yeah.
How did they get it out?
Well, I was there for at least 4 hours, and they eventually said, "Oh well, there's no ENT specialist. Can you come back tomorrow?"
Oh. So you had to sleep on it then?
I mean, they could have told me that as I entered.
You could have gone back to the club.
They could have just said, "Well, there is no emergency ENT surgeon. Can you come back tomorrow?" They could have just said that as I walked in the door. I should have done my the trick. I had a near-death experience recently. Yeah, you remember that?
I remember.
And you
flagged it up very early.
Ignored me. You did. Forced me to continue working. And I went to A&E and I said, "I'm having a heart attack." And they opened a special door and ushered me straight in. Everybody else in the waiting room was agog.
Well, you know what to do next time you get a bit of earwax in your ear.
Yeah.
Or plug, or whatever.
Yeah, die. It's the only way to get seen.
The home of entertaining conversation. L.
Sometimes inspired.
B.
Intelligent.
C.
Random.
Energy.
And sort of a bit of fun all alongside each other.
Irreverence.
Unique.
This is LBC 97.3.
I'm James O'Brien, and all next week you can play entertainment your way with Sky. Every day you could win a Sony Bravia LCD TV and a Sky HD package. Plus, one lucky listener will win a 3G handset and a wireless laptop too.
With Sky, you can now enjoy entertainment the way you want. Through your TV, 3G mobile or broadband. Listen to James O'Brien weekday mornings from 10 all next week for your chance to win with Sky. Join in. LBC 97.3. London's LBC 97.3.
0870 9.
Right, we're doing the papers. Posh and Bex are going to America. Billionaire soccer boss plans $100 million transfer. They've bought a plane. And they're looking... it's just another life entirely, isn't it? So here's the story. Posh and Bucks, says the Peephole. Posh and Bex are launching a massive double bid to take America by storm and make mega bucks. How could they possibly need any more money? The couple have decided their future lies in the States, where both can give their careers a massive money-spinning boost. They're already on the verge of buying their own $2 million jet, so they can make regular trips back to Britain with maximum convenience, security and privacy. David, said to make £12 million a year, is considering signing a $100 million deal through controversial billionaire Dome owner Philip Anschutz to play for the New York Red Bulls. This would make him the face of American soccer. But people don't watch soccer in America. People think it's a silly sport. Lots of men running around in shorts and...
That's exactly what it is.
They just think it's daft over there. They just don't get it. But, whoever breaks soccer in the States is looking at the most gigantic fortune that's yet to be made without breaking it in China, really, aren't they? I don't understand people who don't get football. I just don't... You don't get football, Lucy.
Well,
but it's not that
like
you
the
don't...
World Cup.
Right, but it's not that you don't get it, but you watch other sports. Because to me, American sports are unwatchable. I mean, like American football, for instance. I mean, there's 10 seconds of action, and then they stand around and talk about it for 5 minutes. And they do that so that the TV coverage can go to the ads. The entire sport, baseball as well, revolves around the advertising that's on television. That's why it's so boring and takes so long and nothing ever happens.
But a lot of American TV's like that, isn't it? It's ads all the time.
Yeah. And it's not ads like we have, 30-second mini masterpieces that some company spent £1 million on. It'll be some fat bloke in a check jacket saying, "Come on down to Ed's Used Car Lot. We got Chevrolets and Dodge and Ford and..." It's like Mr. Lister, and he'll go on and on and on, and there's 60-second ads on over there.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like the first 30 seconds, here's another.
They did that the other week, on Midsummer Murders. There was ads about every 10 minutes. It was terrible.
Midsummer Murders?
Yeah.
What's that, then?
With John Nettles on
Who?
ITV1.
Hey, there's somebody who watched something on ITV1.
Yeah. I can recommend another good one
I'm looking
as
for
well.
an applause sound effect. There it is.
There's a new programme that's good, Wire in the Blood. That was good this week.
That's a lot of death over at your place.
Yes.
You've got a lot
in between the jazz.
Yeah.
Don't ask how many fish he's killed this week.
Oh, yeah, another fish has died. You don't care, do you?
What did it die of?
Well, there was too much ammonia and nitrate in the tank, so I've had the water tested and we weren't quite cleaning out the bottom properly. So now I've got a new special way of clearing it out. Anyway, it's really dull.
Does it involve explosions?
No, you have to pump this little pump up and you keep going and then eventually it gets it going and then you lift up all the pebbles. It looks wrong when I'm trying to explain it, but it works.
It looked obscene, actually. I didn't want to say anything.
No. I know, Alex.
I was quite enjoying it.
Oh, no. Anyway, another fish has died, but now they look a lot happier since I've sorted it out.
Well, they'd have to, because they think that if they look a little bit miserable, you're going to kill them.
Yeah, well, they gulp all the time, you see, and it looks
Well, they're
fish. Yeah. And another snail died as well, so we've got no more snails.
Oh, it's true. I bet your husband's on tenterhooks.
Bienvenue, welcome, come on in.
The Peephole, there's just a couple more pages to get through. The Peephole has orgy best exposed. Callum joins 150 swingers at a sex party. In what was that held? 150! And takes away a trophy, and there he is picking up a...
What was the trophy for?
I think the trophy is the lady that he's holding in a position on the front page. But on the inside it says, brave Richard Hammond is in the running to take over from Des Lynam as the host of Countdown.
No
It says it right here. Producers see the telepresenter as the ideal candidate to replace the Housewives' favourite, who was announced he's leaving the job after just 18 months. Hammond had even been considered as a future host before he cheated death in a 300-mile-an-hour... His career is going to go through the roof. It would either be having a car wreck at 300 miles an hour or going to the stores with My Drug Hell. Either way, it's a huge career boost. Like, if he'd taken a lot of cocaine and heroin, his career would have had a similar boost to, cheating death narrowly. Because of the speed of his recovery, producers reckon that the hamster could still be an option. Bosses are also looking at Deal or No Deal host Noel Edmonds, 57, and Sky Sunrise presenter Eamon Holmes. Well, he's not... Eamon Holmes is 46. Eamon Holmes is the same age as me.
Twice the size.
He could be my dad.
He could.
Eamon Holmes, that would be see, now, Eamon Holmes to me is a fit, because he does twinkle for a living, doesn't he? And he can't be happy getting up at the crack of dawn to go and read about deaths and stabbings and, all that stuff on Sky News. It can't be a great gig for him, really. Countdown. You don't have to get up early. And even when you're at work, you're not doing anything.
Maybe you have to go to Leeds.
Oh, I'm sure that they'll bring it down here. Leeds? Well, Leeds itself is not that great, but what Leeds has is the countryside that surrounds it. It's beautiful. And you could pick up a mansion with 136 acres for £5.50 up there. Blaming the wear and tear of having to travel the 250 miles from Worthing in West... I can't believe he lives in Worthing. To Leeds for filming. Lynham said that he would record his last countdown show at Christmas. Hammond, 36, is on the wish list to take over after medics revealed that he should be back to his old self within months. A showbiz source said that if he keeps up his recovery rate, Richard would be the ideal choice to replace Des, but he will face stiff competition from Eamon and Noel. Why would Noel Tidybeard give up his job as the host of that, whatever it's called, that show that's not a show? The quiz with no quiz? What's it called? Open the box and take the money? See, we kind of... Alex is racking his brains. It's the TV sensation of the decade, and no one can remember what it's called. That's how exciting that show is. Anyway, who cares? The only people who care about this are a bunch of... it's the population of Worthing. The News of the World has got a bit of a story.
Deal or no deal?
Deal or no deal is the correct answer. Sunday Mirror. Exclusive Premier Club £500,000 Sting scandal. New bung shock. See back page. All right. That football is rife with corruption. Is anyone surprised about that? I mean, is that giving anyone like a pause for thought? Like, are we stunned?
No.
Not really. No. Ramsay bedded my wife. Gordon Ramsay is... Why does that stun you?
Oh, I don't like stories like that.
What do you mean?
Well, tell us a story quickly before I say anything.
Chef helped himself to my Jackie and went back.
This is from
Went
before.
back for seconds.
Yeah.
I treated him like a son, and he knifed me in the back. Gordon Ramsay's been in the Telegraph all week long. Not the Telegraph.
It's
the
Sun.
Sun.
He's been, the serialisation of his autobiography.
I can't imagine how anybody would care about Gordon Ramsay. Does he seem like a person that you would actually want to hang around with, or?
Well,
no, he doesn't. There's no well about it. He just doesn't.
He's quite interesting.
You want to go and have a drink with Gordon Ramsay? No.
No.
You're thinking?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think, would I want to have a drink with him? I don't think so, because he might be a bit,
Like Gordon Ramsay? Yeah, you're
shouty.
right.
Might not be very relaxing having a drink with him.
I ate in one of his restaurants once. It was rubbish.
Really?
Yes.
Was it one of the ones where you spent an absolute fortune on?
Yes, well, they all are.
Yeah. Really? It's supposed to be excellent.
No, it wasn't. It was awful.
I'm actually not finding his cookery book terribly easy, I must say.
Yeah, but no cookery books are. Apart from the Blessed Delia. She's the only one who you can follow.
And Jamie.
Well, I don't know. Jamie says things like, you just throw it all in a bush, bosh, and slap it on the plate, and then it looks like you've just bosh, and slapped it on the plate. It's rubbish.
No.
Absolutely.
Oh, no. I think all his recipes are excellent, and I think even men can make his food who can't cook.
Even men? What does that mean?
Men who aren't necessarily so adept in the kitchen seem to be able to manage a Jamie recipe.
Right. Name a top female chef.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. What, apart from Delia?
She's not a chef, she's a cook.
Oh, okay, Prue Leith.
Does she chef anymore?
Yeah, she's got her own cookery school and everything.
Well, you shut me up then, didn't you? That's the Sunday Mirror. And the News of the World. Well, today, this is an actual full-on story, this. Are you ready? I'm not sure I should actually read the whole thing. I'll just read you a teaser, and then you can go and examine it at your leisure, because it might not be true. They throw this stuff out, and then in 4 weeks' time, having covered it on pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there'll be a tiny microscopic apology on page 32. Sorry about that, they'll say. Never mind. Today the News of the World exposes the most debauched, lying hypocrite in British political life. Want to know more?
Oh, yes.
You'll have to buy the News of the World. Oh, such a tease. Here is Bracknell. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
Oh, all right, mate.
How you tolerating Lucy not listening to jazz? I don't understand that.
I don't get it, man. It's like,
She must be. She's young, I found out. She's, 31?
How old are you?
31.
Yeah. None of your business, I think, is how old she is.
Well, no, she told me weirdly enough, but she's younger than us. I guess maybe that's why she doesn't get to jazz. I don't know.
No, jazz is not an age thing. Jazz is just, you have to be, hip with it.
Yowza.
You have to be to like jazz.
Well, anyway, I told her she should listen to more of it. But in honor of her fish killing, I decided to call in and tell you a fish story.
Okay.
When I was married to my evil ex-wife, I had these 2 kids by a former husband. They used to go away to see their father every other weekend. So we had this fish tank, and one weekend while they were away, we noticed the last fish was floating upside down. So my wife was concerned that the kids would come home, they'd be upset. And I said, upset? They won't notice. I said, don't tell them, don't say a word, and let's see how long before they even notice that there's no fish in the tank.
Oh, you didn't leave them floating upside down. You cleaned the tank out.
Right.
Right.
We just left the tank there with the, the filter running, didn't say anything. 2 weeks before they even noticed.
But it's calming, though, right? Even if it's just little bubbles in the tank.
Well, it's calming if you don't have to take care of it.
Yeah. None of that sounded appealing to me at all. I mean, you don't get... I can understand dogs, even though they are stupid and they poo everywhere and they bite kids' faces off. I get dogs, okay? Because, they're like your dumb best friend.
Yeah, we had a dog, and it was wonderful. It used to follow me.
And I get cats, because, they can take care of themselves, and stroking cats is calming. Is calming. I enjoy stroking cats. Who doesn't? But fish? What do you get from fish?
I don't know. It wasn't my idea to get them.
They are calming. I can watch the fish much more than the TV, which is better.
Well, aren't there people who get pictures of fish on their computer?
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, but that's weird.
And then
I'd rather have the real thing.
And then you won't have to kill them, Lucy.
Then you don't have to clean the tank.
I didn't mean to kill a fish. I don't get the cat thing. Did you read that story about the cat that killed that rare bird today?
No.
It's been a very rare bird that landed on British shores.
What, this rose-breasted
Yeah.
thing? I thought the Twitchers killed it.
Well, they were chasing after it, and they chased after it so much he got so tired that a cat pounced on it. Isn't that awful?
Oh. Poor little cat. I mean, bird.
Oh, I thought that was really sad. Stupid Twitchers.
You don't like cats as well as jazz.
Yes, doesn't like cats, doesn't like jazz. What do you like?
Fish.
Fish, yeah.
oh, poor fish that you then poison it.
I know, yeah. I mean, serial killers come up, before the beak, and they'll say exactly what you said. Oh, I didn't mean to. So you're a serial fish killer, Lucy?
I've only killed 2. And I think they'd have died anyway, because they had velvet disease as well.
Everything is going to die anyway at some point.
You don't have to hasten it, just because they got some disease. You're supposed to take care of them.
Yeah, well, same with the Twitchers and the bird.
Well, that doesn't make it right, Lucy.
Well, no. Yeah. But I've been trying, whereas they weren't. They were just chasing around with their silly cameras.
Yeah, you are trying.
Well, that's trying. That's effort, chasing, right?
Anyway, thanks a lot for that, Joseph.
No problem.
More stories about death. That's what we want.
Don't pick on Lucy too much.
Am I picking on you?
Not really.
Don't pick on me. Here's one in Wales. Hello, June.
Hello.
June.
All right.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
What's up?
I don't know. What's up with you?
Nothing. Let me put it another way. Why did you call, June?
Right. We're coming up to London in a fortnight.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Well, we're going to do it.
Right.
Because my husband booked it as a surprise.
Do me a favour.
What?
Always stand on the right.
Always stand on the right.
Yes.
Why?
Just keep that in mind. Stand on the right, all right? Because otherwise it will mark you out as a tourist. And people will tut at you.
And people will do what at me?
Tut.
Tut.
Tut, they'll go. When you're on an escalator, in the tube, stand on the right.
Okie dokie.
Don't stand on the left and just be, like, looking around like like a tourist dope. Stand up and write.
Okay.
Because these days in London, they'll go further than tutting, and they'll actually shoot you.
Oh, well, I'm not coming.
Well, then my work is done.
Oh,
so,
right.
so you're coming up to London, yes, for what?
Right, we're coming up to watch a show
Yeah.
called Les Miserables.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Close.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what's it like?
What's the show like?
Yeah.
I've never seen it. It's been in London for practically as long as I have, and I've never seen it. You know the reason why?
Yeah.
It's because it's called The Miserables. Who wants to go and see a show called The Miserables?
I never thought that myself.
Why did you pick that one?
I didn't, he did.
Oh, right.
I am the wife, don't forget.
Maybe he's giving you like a message.
Possible. So where are we staying? Right, we're staying in the Hilton.
Oh, well.
Oxford Street. Yeah.
Oxford Street? The Hilton in Oxford Street?
Yeah.
Is there a Hilton in Oxford Street?
Is there a Hilton in Oxford Street? I don't know, I'm being prompted by my husband.
I don't think there is a Hilton in Oxford Street.
It's probably a youth hostel.
He hasn't booked you anything.
He hasn't booked anything. He's just taking me on a mystery tour, isn't he?
You're gonna be sleeping in the doorway of a shoe shop.
Anything's possible.
But you're staying at the Hilton in Oxford Street. We're just going to check that for you. London Hotels, Oxford
you
Street,
check that for
Hilton,
me.
Langham, Hilton. That's not in
If
Oxford
not,
Street.
tell me where it is.
Click the one, the second from. Is the Langham a Hilton? Click that one right there. Click it. Click it. Quickly. Hurry. I've got no control over this. Elegant five-star hotel in Regent Street. That's the Langham, but that's not a Hilton.
No.
There is no such thing as the Hilton in Oxford Street. We're not finding it.
Right, so where is the Hilton, do you know?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, there's a few of them. There's one on Park Lane.
One on Park Lane?
That's near Oxford Street.
That's near Oxford Street. Oh, that's it then, he said.
Oh, yeah.
He bought Park Lane on Monopoly. So it must be that one then.
Right. June, I'd get yourself a new husband before you come, all right?
Right, I might think about that then.
But as soon as you get back, you tell us how it went, all right?
Okie dokie.
All right, ta-da.
Ta-da.
Let's have Mayfair. Oh, Adam.
Hi, Nick, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks.
Good to hear you again.
Cheers.
Lucy, have you been to that big pet place in Brentford? It's like the Super Bowl. It's a massive...
Oh, yeah, I love it.
What's
They've got
that?
hundreds of fish there. Snakes, snails, a lot.
Oh, imagine the amount of pets you could kill with that kind of supply.
And the thing is, they got it right next to Zion Park, and they've got thousands of fish in there anyway.
Yeah, that's a much better fish shop to go to, the one in Zion Park.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it
Have
is.
you been to the Spider House?
No, I've been to the
House.
Butterfly House, that's good.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
You could always move into the Duke of Northumberland's house there as well, couldn't you?
I could.
You deserve it after what you've been through. Nick, I have to,
Why, what's she been... No, let's pass over it. Yes, sir.
What she's been... about the prep manager, I agree with Lucy. You do get shipping out pretty quickly. But the one I went to in Hammersmith, it's not a big store anyway. There's a lot of people queuing. And you just have people hovering around you just saying, "Did you enjoy that, sir? Thank you for coming, sir." And it's like, they want you to go, you just get that feeling.
Well, yeah, because it's not a restaurant. You're not there for a
but you want to
three-course
digest
meal.
you want at least 5 minutes, don't you? You don't want to kind of just put the last bit in your mouth and get shipped out again, like a, conveyor belt sort of
Well,
thing.
that's...
I suppose
yeah, that's true enough, but I have never experienced that in all the times that I've eaten in one of their fabulous restaurants.
That's because you kept on about the cheese sandwich, probably, how wonderful it was.
Well, this is the first time I've ever even spoken about them on the air, and people are going to think, this is an advert. This is not an advert.
Huge delivery downstairs for you.
Oh, let's hope so.
So what's special about this? Was it grated cheese, or was it just sliced
I
cheese?
tell you what, I think they put drugs in that cheese sandwich, because it's absolutely phenomenal, and I can't resist it. Every time I go in there, I have to have it.
You walked out of there, you must have been floating.
I have to go to the gym just so as I can work off the cheese sandwiches, because it can't be good for you. There's nothing about it that's good for you. It must have the fat content of Russell Grant. It must be like eating Russell Grant every time you open one of their cheese sandwiches. Imagine that, Lucy.
Oh, Lucy.
That's revolting.
Okay.
That sounds horrible. Lard sandwich.
So you don't fancy dining with Mr. Ramsay then?
Well-
No, I don't. Do you? No, I don't.
I'd like to eat his
Have you been
food.
to Frankie's, Lucy, in Chiswick?
No.
I've been to Frankie's in Putney, and that was rubbish as well.
No, there's Frankie's and there's Frankie's. There's Frankie, there's the jockey.
Yeah, Frankie's.
Yeah, has he got one in Putney?
Oh, there's a chain made.
Oh, I thought we only had one.
Is it like a chocolate cake in Putney as well?
Is it like a what?
The one in Chiswick is designed to be like a chocolate cake.
That's right, it is.
I think this one's sort of orange inside.
Well,
It's
he's got
really
a lot of
weird.
pictures of his horses and all that, and his dishes are kind of named after famous horses. And famous races is one.
Yeah, that's just what you want to look at when you're eating.
Exactly. I mean, it's not the most, is it, really, when you think about it?
Awful.
Huh?
Horrible. But anyway, no, I hated that as much as I hated his posh place I went to in Glasgow. And the hotel sucked, and so did the restaurant that was attached to it.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for you, no.
And I was mentioning this as I was on the air in Scotland up there, because that was the first place that I stayed at before I moved into my grotty flat. And they hated that. People were calling in really irate. Robbie Williams has stayed there. Who are you, by the way?
That's a great accent, dude. Look, that's real Glaswegian.
I know.
That was real rough and thunder.
Yes. I'm a professional, Adam. Please don't try this at home.
No, please don't try this at home.
All right, listen, mate, I've got to go. Ta-ra.
Great to chat to you, bye.
Here's... Oh, we got a break. All right. Can you hang on there, Karen?
Yeah.
All right, great. We'll be back.
No time for the old in and out, love. I've just come to read the meter.
Hello, Karen.
Hello.
Karen. You're in Rochdale.
I am, but I'm a London girl. I'm just visiting in Rochdale at the moment.
Oh, right.
But I miss LBC that much. I have to listen to it through the Sky or the digital radio.
Of course.
Can I ask you a question, Nick?
Yes.
It's been bothering me for a while now, and it's also causing like a bit of a domestic in our house at the moment. It's about Tizer.
Tizer?
Yeah, you know the fizzy drink.
Yeah.
What colour is it?
Orange.
Yes! Oh!
I got that one right.
You've made my evening. No, because I'm insisting that it's orange, but my other half and a few other people have said it's red. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but we might have texted another radio station about this before. And but they're a bit more serious. It was a bit of a political discussion, and they didn't really.
Yeah, what other radio station would have been interested in the colour of Tizer?
I don't know.
Only LBC,
desperate.
because that is what we do.
Yeah, could you have like a text vote or something about it?
Yeah, I'll do that for you straight away, yeah.
Can you?
Mm-hmm, sure.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, hold your breath. Cheers, Karen.
Cheers.
Let's have Tallulah. Oh, Tallulah.
Hello.
Hello, you.
Hello, you.
How's your parrot?
I've got fish on my computer.
You what?
I've got fish on my computer.
She's got fish on a computer.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, I bet it is.
A nun is dying.
Your nanny is dying.
A nun.
Oh, no.
No fish. No dying fish.
It's just been one long protracted death, this show today.
Exactly, and that's where I'm coming from. But actually, I wanted to talk about rock and roll this time.
Rock and roll.
Oh, rock and roll.
Go on, then.
Because one of my very famous favorite bits is Jump from Van Halen.
Van Halen, yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen a little MyTube piece recently where David Lee Roth is doing Jump in country and western, and I nearly threw up.
Well, is this something that he's recently done?
Well, he looks like a banker nowadays, and I couldn't believe it because I think he looked brilliant in Jump, where he did the jump, and now...
Well, he was, in his late 20s, early 30s. Jump was the first album that Van Halen released, right? It was the one with the baby on the front, right?
Oh, well, I don't know the history about them, but you just told me.
But, yes, David Lee Roth looks as weird as David Hasselhoff looks these days. It looks like he's had work, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I just don't think that...
I'm confused.
I just don't think that men should have facelifts. It just looks weird.
I'm on your side there.
Because, I mean, I guess that if you get it done well, then yes, but you never know whether you never know how it's gonna work out until it's done. And most of them look like permanently
Alien.
surprised, and
Alien.
Alien. That's right. The kind of something you can't really put your finger on. There's something wrong there, but you don't know what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, but so, did you like Van Halen when they
Of course.
Of course, rock and roll. I tell you, that tune, it just makes you just jump, even if you are not a jumper.
Right.
But there's so much energy coming out of there, and suddenly this guy is doing this funny country and western bit.
Well, and that's on your YouTube.
Yeah, it's
Right.
I saw it on there, and I'm frustrated basically.
I bet you are.
Yeah, but AC/DC I found out finally, is my favorite band ever.
AC/DC.
Oh, that stuff rocks.
So, is this before or after Bon Scott's death?
No, it's now. It's now that I finally make my decision that AC/DC is my favorite band ever.
Right. Well, I don't want to get in a long discussion about this because I'm not working at the other place right now. But but there was two stages of AC/DC, either Bon Scott or oh God, I forgot what his name is. The Geordie. I can't remember what his name is. Brian Johnson. Is that right? And you have to like the Bon Scott because that's real AC/DC. All right, and don't you forget it.
All right, man.
Oh, right. Hey, listen, I've got to go, Tallulah.
Rock and roll.
Keep rocking.
No one should have to worry about...
Oh, Nadia.
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Nadia.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Not bad at all. In fact, feeling better. I just want to say you lovely and lovely Lucy, and I start to listen to you nearly 2 months now. I just discover you, and as you discover me, and you know, no friends are on, just your show, and of course, my friend is only fish.
Your friend is only fish.
My only friend is fish.
That's so sad.
Well, not sad, not depressing. No, I'm joking. I used to have lots of friends, and in fact, my niece and nephew visiting me, my brother from parts of Egon and America and Australia. They're visiting us, but I had the flu. I'm just recovering, and my work and everything, and. That's all really. I just want to say how you're great and entertaining, interesting. Although I do listen to that nice and naughty Ian Lee.
Yeah, well, why not?
Because, you know, I was last...
Nice and naughty, yeah. Well, it's been a stream of consciousness so far, Nadia. I think you've got something to tell us. What's happening tomorrow?
Yes, you know, I know you play that. I don't like to have a birthday, but it's my birthday.
It's your birthday. Congratulations. But I've got to go, dear, but thanks for the call, all right.
You're welcome. All the best.
Ta-ta. What a nice lady. Right, have we got anybody that we want to take in the brief moments before the end of the programme?
Danny?
Or shall... Danny. All right, very briefly. Hey, Danny.
Hello, Nick. It's
Yes.
Danny. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Yeah, quickly. Tizer is red.
Tizer is red.
Yeah.
No,
Ian
but...
Brew is orange, and I'll tell you how I know.
Go on.
I used to watch a TV programme on a Saturday morning, like a chart show.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And the jingle for Tizer is, I'm red, I'm Tizer head.
All right.
It was a red Tizer head doing the actual advert for it.
Well, now we know. Thanks a lot, mate.
No problem.
Cheers. A postman who burnt and attempted to destroy 40,000 letters after he was retired was jailed for 4 months yesterday. He admitted to damaging 100 postal packets by setting fire to them when he appeared before magistrates. He also pleaded guilty to destroying 40,000 more by putting them in skips. 40,000! The prison said he hadn't arrived yet, but the courts said that they definitely sent him over on Monday.
On FM.